pack it up if you're not using it. Like, bro, I have like a whole bunch of freaking to go cups. I have a whole bunch of freaking tumblers. I have a whole bunch of freaking, like I was telling you. I think I only have, out of all that, I only have two presses, which freaking amazed me because that's all I do is freaking press coffee all the time. So I was like, how do I only have one? I think I have one 12-ounce press, which I use all the freaking time. And then I have a 16-ounce, like, Stanley cup that I ended up getting a while ago.
Oh, no, oh yeah.
Yeah, that's it. That's it. Out of all those fucking tumblers, those are the only two that press. I was like, "Are you fucking kidding me right now?" So, where does all my money go? So, yeah, I used to be into buying freaking ceramic cups and shit in terms of like just like travel cups and stuff like that to and from work. It's like
I'm about to
that
retile
used to,
this. I'm about
yeah,
to.
that used to be my thing for a while, and I'm like, how do I have all this shit still? So I don't even use half of it anymore.
I'm
So
about to retool the acronym to TR Trooper Randables.
yeah, for reals. Now, was it on chat or was it just a random post? Because I'm looking for it. I don't see the schedule. I think it was in chat, wasn't it?
It's in chat.
Yeah. So there it is. There it is.
Yeah.
Uh,
I picked a very relatable topic when I set up for schooling,
mm,
talking about school days and our days of school here and there. You don't have to share anything too personal.
oh,
But,
how I was doing everyone else's homework for money. I don't think my mom ever caught on to me doing that shit.
so I wish I was your friend
But I
back
did
then. I would have learned to
everybody's
do
freaking
that.
homework for money. What's really funny is I also used to keep index cards too. So like whenever I would write something down, I would keep like an index card of what I did. So um
Free
yeah,
talk.
no, dude, I got fucking crafty because like I had to pretty much write in a certain style for like the few people that I would write for so that it wouldn't sound like my shit. So like so
Kind of like Ishi's little Sunday nothing streams
hmm,
where we just talk about anything
yeah.
under the sun.
Let me see. Download.
Hey Eloise. Wow, that number picked up real fast.
Mm-hmm.
Guess streams work wonders on weekends.
Right.
Y'all tell your friends we're live. If that notification
Right.
ain't
Yeah.
working for them, make sure
Like,
everybody's on the know.
hide your kids, hide your mom. Like
Oh, we're not
we're
like
out on weekends.
we ain't gonna be like what's those faces that were singing about coming for your kids. Hail to the now.
All right. So it looks like what is that? So Tuesday, stop feeling ashamed of being you, and then
Yeah.
on Thursday, looks like we do not relate to villains.
Hmm.
And then you had
That's a
sexualization,
versus idealization.
right?
See,
Uh,
that's August 3rd.
I'll
That's a
try
August
to
3rd's a
be
Tuesday,
here.
dude.
Like I'll try to be here at 12:30, but that's the 29th is the day of that hearing, so we'll see
Hmm.
how long it goes and what shit happens on that day.
August 3rd's
But
a
then
Tuesday.
but then no, July 29th. July 29th
29th.
is the one you have
School.
school talk.
Oh yeah,
Let's
that's
see.
that's definitely a Thursday.
Yeah. Yeah, elevator pitch on the 17th. Yeah, like creatively, I'm not inspired to write anything right now. Like, I mean, I'd have
Hmm.
to force myself to do it, but
I don't think that's in your control. I think we can let you off the hook on that one if your mom is there shopping,
oh, it's so nasty. Why would you go there? That place is terrible. Like,
especially when it's all coated in bullshit.
well, what they tend to do is or what they're doing right now. I don't know what they're doing right now. Uh
The only
I
time I ever went there is to shop electronics. That's about it. But
like I
then then I realized Best Buy has better electronics than they do, so I shop at Best Buy now there
Yeah.
more so than Target.
Mhm.
And Target usually has some good deals for movies, but I went to Best Buy recently and
Yeah.
jeez, man.
Yeah, Al, if you want to jump in, that's fine. Eloise,
Oh yeah, definitely will shoot you that link.
the link, yeah.
You're part of our Saturday morning group now.
Right, right.
That's what I'm calling us now. It's a Saturday morning cartoon group.
I know, right? Mm.
Let me see. Trying to find. No, I'm in groups. What am I doing? What am I doing? You tell me what I'm doing.
I have no idea because, like, all I've been doing, like, honestly, all I've been doing is going through all this stuff and then just kind of posting links. Like, early morning. I mean,
I
I was
sent the
posting
link to
some stuff.
Leia.
Yeah.
Eloise, I shared the link. Hop in when you need to.
Yeah, like I mean, I posted an article of the Vatican starting
So,
to reveal the more than 5,000 property it owns, and
mm, hang
oh,
on.
that's nice to know. It's
So
nice
you
to know that
mentioned
the Roman Catholic Church is its own empire. It's nice to know.
so you're talking about ideas for elevator pitch, right? Basically, turn like people turning in completed or at least written work for us to evaluate.
I don't know. I mean, the thing with stuff like that is, yeah, I can like say, oh, I have a story and blah 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 blah. Sometimes
Hmm.
it's nice to be able to see it on paper.
Yeah.
Not everybody has that kind of time though.
Right.
But at the same time, it's trying not to get into that rut of being like other channels of, oh, what was the pitch for this movie? Like, yeah, I get it. Like,
Hmm.
but I don't know. I mean, to be perfectly honest, like right now, creatively, the one thing I've heard from the comic book echo chamber is I've heard two things actually. I've
Hmm.
heard uh, people like fourth age say, oh, keep politics and keep lore separate. Which, yeah, it sounds great on paper, but inevitably, it always boils down to politics.
Hmm.
Or if we want to segregate them further, I mean, it all falls under philosophy, and then from there you go into morals, which is good versus evil, and then it goes into quote politic, which is literally just another way of saying uh, good versus evil when it comes to the citizen versus the society, and then uh, what was the other thing? I actually had to kind of stop the video. I was like, nah, I'm done. But hey,
Hey.
Eloise.
So you recently watched this latest video that was posted on yesterday. Hey, Louis, we're talking about Force H.
Uh,
I don't know. Well, I don't know if if it's the video you think I'm talking about. It just showed up on my stream, and like I told you and me, we like my phone
do you
died
guys
last
hear
night.
do you guys hear the air conditioner or is everything
No,
good?
no,
No,
no. Honestly, like if your cell
you're
phone's
fine,
probably
Eloise.
not gonna pick up the
Alright.
background noise as long as the decibels are not high enough for your cell phone mic to pick it up. So so but yeah, it's so apparently there's a school of people that think that you can actually write a story without politics. And what's really funny, and um,
Mm,
like I told you in MeWe, it's one of the main reasons why I kind of got away from some of the big YouTubers because, like, I mean, I was a YouTube listener myself. Like, we all start out that way.
mm-hmm,
So, it's with the same people. I mean, we all kind of cross over when we first start listening to channels. Like, we'll all cross over at one point, whether it's Gary Beekler or Doomcock or Geeks and Gamers or Quartering. Like, we all usually start with the more big tent channels because that tends to have the biggest share of the viewing audience.
Mm-hmm.
And like if something happens pop culture wise, you know, everybody literally makes a video of the same thing. So the result that you end up seeing is you end up getting a consensus of opinion, which that is what popular culture does. Is it's meant to shape, quote popular opinion or popular culture. So I got tired of it because it's all the same stuff. It's like, if I get a lot of these older YouTubers make money under that old model, but newer YouTubers literally can't bring in that kind of money. Like the ones that have been around prior to 2016 or prior to Last Jedi and stuff like that, like those that literally rode that train in 2016, 2017, 2018, like on average now, if we're talking about YouTubers, if you can't make a dollar, if you can't make a dollar off of each of your uh, subscription base, then there's a problem. So like a lot of these channels are well over 1,000. Um, you
Mm.
can pull up their channel and you can literally see the official subscription number, which YouTube tends to throttle as well. But case in point being is these dudes literally bring like after taxes, depending on who it is, they can still bring up to $500,000 a year. And that's just on
Right.
super chats, that's on Patreon donations, that's not necessarily super chats altogether,
What's up, unqualified?
Um,
uh even though super chats tend to kind of shape the stream
Funny
or the
enough, I
stream.
predicted that he was going to show up eventually.
Like YouTube keeps about 30% of every super chat. So really YouTubers don't make that much money off of super chats. I mean, it's meant as a tip, but if you notice some of the popular channels, they chase the super chats. So I mean, you go in there and it's literally one big re-stream, if you will.
Mm-hmm.
So
I th-
after a while, you you yourself personally,
Hang on,
you
Eloise.
get tired. I mean, like you get
He's
like
he's he's on
exhausted.
his trooperisms.
So no, no, no. Go ahead, Alois. Go ahead.
oh no, I was gonna say that a lot of the bigger YouTubers they sustain themselves basically because of their personality. Like I think that's more the selling point, their personality,
Hmm.
than the subject matter. Like sure, the subject matter it might interest people, but I think for the most part, people stick to watching the bigger YouTubers because they're interesting and you
Oh,
know.
yeah. I mean, that's a side of YouTube we don't talk about. Um, you do have people that do gravitate towards personalities. So in a way, you're
A
paying
code,
to
a
more or
personality.
less have an interaction with that person. So, I mean, that's something that's really not talked about on YouTube either. Like you'll realize, and I mean there's been studies that have been done on this stuff as far as like number of friendships in 2021, especially among men. And then I think there was a study on friendships among women. It wasn't in 2021, but I think there was one that was done in 2019. I'd have to go look. But more and more as we progress into more of a digital uh,
Push pause real quick.
playground. Huh.
Unqualified. How did you make it to my streams, man? Did you follow the link that I shared on Twitter or whatever? Or mines? I'll wait your answer. Continue, Trooper.
So like what I was saying, like yeah, no, like people are starving for friendships, and I know under the lockdown, a lot of people were definitely in that bubble where they needed to interact with people.
This
And
man speaks truth.
I hate to say it, it's almost like pay to play, if you will, which tends to apply to the porn industry. It's the same thing with YouTube, if you will. Like it's you pay like your $2, $5 or whatever, and then the YouTuber reads out your comment. So in a way, you do end up shaping the conversation, and those that do like or do have the disposable income will do that. So after a while, you start to realize that when it comes down to these people literally turning it into part-time or full-time jobs, once YouTube literally has become your revenue stream, you almost have to go where the money's at. So
Hmm.
that's, and as a viewer, sometimes, not all the time, but sometimes you do get very tired of it, because you'll notice, like, everyone in that chat, or even up to the wrenches, like, if you happen to have maybe a dissenting opinion or something like that, that again, maybe someone or some people do not like, suddenly you get censored. Or um, you'll also get the spammers that, if they're not if they're not having their opinion echoed, like, they'll start spamming to get your attention. So that's why you see rules like no spamming. But case in point, so let's say you get tired of those popular channels, and you're really just looking for an honest consensus on something. You'll end up going to the smaller channels. And then from the smaller channels, you can either diverge into like the comic book channels, again, like Fourth Age and that particular group, um, or you go into the Shardamus Prime, uh, like bubble, which is like your action figure collectors and all the ones that tend to just literally focus on like Hot Toys or all the other brands. Like I have a few um, when it comes to like collectibles and stuff like that. So yeah, they'll diverge. Like the one thing I've always told you is like uh, there's like almost anything goes on YouTube if you stay within the terms of service. Like there's literally a demographic for everything. If you just want to do dog walking videos, like what's the best way to
Hmm.
walk your dog, or dog walking etiquette, or grooming your dog, getting your dog ready for a walk. There's there's stuff for that too. Like if you're into horses, or if you're into shoeing horses, there's like a whole like echo chamber for that too. Well, not echo chamber, but there's a whole demographic for that too. So,
Right.
I once found like a channel that focused on turkeys.
oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I thought that was funny. Like they had like
The
um
thing, yeah, good.
Or Finnegan Fox.
yeah.
Actually, unqualified. It's not anything new. It's been going on for a while. YouTube hasn't been around that long, but I mean, it's only now, since you want to say maybe within the last 2, 3 presidential elections, that it's become a mainly used platform. And it really doesn't have to do anything with showmanship. I mean, honestly, you could have like no personality whatsoever and still have a whole bunch of followers. There's at least 2 or 3 crazy ladies that have their own. I'm subscribed to one of them, but like there's like 2 or 3 like crazy ladies that do like some weird, like they're not all there. Like
Hmm.
when they post stuff, it's like, oh yeah, I was talking to Elvis yesterday and blah 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 blah, and Elvis sent me a platter. I mean, stuff that really you're like, like, I'm like, how the hell does this person even live? Or does this person have
Well,
a job?
have you heard about the that group on, I'm not sure if it was YouTube or like TikTok or something, where they had like people with multiple personality disorders. Like
Yeah, 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 yeah.
well, yeah, like they don't really have the thing. They just pretend they do. Like it's kind of, like I
Yeah,
I
there's
just
some.
I
Yeah,
feel
like
bad for like my coworker, because like she's one of the people that actually has symptoms, and now it's like this popular thing that everybody is doing, where the whole the whole actual thing is like lost in all these you
Tumblr
know
fake stories brought
yeah.
to life.
oh yeah, yeah, the MP tubers. Yeah, there's a few. If you're into law, there's LawTube.
We were
There's a
just
few.
talking about you, Big Al.
There's a few law tubers. Hey Al, what's going on? Yeah, there's like a lot of tubers and stuff like that. So I mean,
Now go on over to the
if you
Geeky
get
Geeks
tired,
'cause I know you're gonna go there. I
if
know you're
you
gonna go there. You,
if
you don't want to
if
hear
you get
us,
tired,
talk.
like if you literally get tired of it, of just all of the content, then you can literally find on YouTube, because at one point there's so much of it, like you get overwhelmed. There's always LawTube. So, and there's some pretty popular lawyers now that have been around for a while, and those dudes are also raking in money too.
Yeah.
Um, the thing about stuff like YouTube and stuff like that is,
Oh, we're just glad that you'll show up. I knew you were gonna show up, and I'm glad that you did.
Yeah, no, the thing about YouTube is sometimes you can get saturated with a lot of content. I don't really use a lot of YouTube. I tend to use Odyssey now. What I'm starting to find is that a lot of the popular channels, since they tend to be demonetized or shadow banned for their content, they're literally backing up their content on Odyssey. So I'll follow it there. Odyssey's a little bit less restrictive, but they're
I
coming
just
down on Odyssey because they have their own crypto. So
I just, I just wish Odyssey would come out with the Android app because they have the iOS app, but I really think they should have done Android first because, Apple tends to nuke like apps off their store really quickly compared to like Google, and at least with Android you don't really have to share your post the app on the Google Play Store. You have other options too. So I think that was the better thing about Android, but now it's on iOS. They're delaying the Android release, so I think that really bothers me to the point that I'm constantly like every month or so I like check in on them and ask if they posted the Android app already or not.
it's gonna be a while. Their problem is the way they monetize is they do it through their own crypto. So it's a different system and it's more decentralized and it's not like you have to hit 1,000 viewers. After that, you're monetized, which means depending on how popular you are, some of your videos will run ads, and then you're into the whole super chat thing, and that allows for more interactions. But you can usually bypass that if you do something like super chats through Streamlabs or uh, through other platforms like Entropy and stuff like that. Like you don't necessarily have to use YouTube. Like YouTube takes 30%. So I mean, there's other ways of doing it. So, but to get to your point, Telegram is like that. Like you can go through their
Damn it,
website and
Ish.
get native
I want to
Telegram.
be
You
there.
don't
Oh
have to get
well.
the iOS or you don't have to get the Android version
Ish
because
should
those are heavily
start
censored.
streaming. Don't leave, Eloise. You're stuck with us.
Uh, what is Ishi up to though? Like I know it popped up, the notification popped up on my screen, but like it's gone now.
It says why deconstructed superheroes suck.
See
Uh,
again, same stuff that other people are talking about. So it's like literally, it's
He
literally you're generating the same thing. You're just spinning it differently.
he just kept kind of catching up. He just did he just did a stream about He-Man last yesterday.
Yeah, everyone's like, "Oh, He-Man, He-Man, He-Man." I'm like, there's bigger channels
He'll
for
pop
that.
he'll have his say on and it's
Like
usually
everybody, literally, it's the same thing. They're all echoing the same thing, same opinion. I'm like, look,
all I'm
we're
saying
already
is
like
you'll feel right at home in each
in terms of
stream.
this country, like we're already at the beginning stages of what everyone knows what it is, but
yeah,
everybody wants to more or less keep like
everybody
squawking
sharing.
about how bad He-Man is, as opposed to worrying about the nature of why these things are
Dang it,
happening.
Victoria, why? 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 Can you take a break at least for one day?
Take me
You
with you.
no, you're stuck here with us. You can catch them on the Monday stream tomorrow.
You're not missing anything. It's all the same like content. Like
No, but
count
like
on the
I like
rewatch. It
Ishi and
counts
Kat.
your views.
I know.
You can always open up a second window and freaking hit the arrow and call it a year. But
Mm.
yeah, so and then that's how you usually end up
It's like
at
why y'all
like
always gotta hang out with Ishi on Sunday? Not with
because
your
everybody
commander.
tends to play like nice and footsie and oh this is your day and this is my day and we'll try not to like compete for views. It's like look, stream whenever you want. Stream whenever you want. If you have quality content, then it speaks for itself. If you want to follow the same C spot run, I have no brain content, by all means go for it. Like no one's stopping you from doing whatever you want,
Of
except
course.
for the socialists who want to more or less manage your First and Second Amendments. So
And personal life.
yeah, 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 yeah. Because I've been keeping up with a lot of that stuff in terms of what's going on with the jab, and it's so
I
crazy.
die a little inside every time. someone I know personally goes like, "Oh, socialism, yes," and I'm just like dying inside, like, why?
Why would you
Well, that's
think socialism is awesome? Have you even read up on what it does? Have you actually taken consideration to think what it does to people when it comes to socialism?
Yeah, that's why I die a little inside every time they rave on about the wonders of socialism. And I'm just like,
And it's like this.
wait,
well, okay, like
I'm just
in
joking, Victoria. You can leave.
like in there, okay, like a point in like I'll,
But I know
I'll
you'll
side with
come
them
back.
on this one thing. I'll side with them on this one thing. They're too idealistic in thinking that everyone will be honest
yeah,
or
that's
be
that's what I'm always.
or be forthcoming in the way that it's supposed to work, which truth be told, people aren't like that. So,
Mm-mm.
you
Yeah,
know, to think that everyone's going to be like open and honest and hey, we're all going to just like contribute and we're all going to work on having the like quality, improving the quality of outcomes. And it's like, you do realize that by doing that, you have to cut people down to improve the quality of outcomes because we don't always start at the same part. I watch
Oh,
what I
you
want. I like it
Al.
that way.
Oh, you Al. You know what? I have to get you on stream so we can compare fetishes.
Right. Yeah. So there is that part. There is literally that part where people are too nihilistic, and
Far too
nihilism usually
nihilistic.
tends to happen when you uh, take religion out of the when you take religion out of the home and you tend to secularize society. But I mean, we've been secularized for a very long time. I
Hang
think
on. Sorry, Trooper. Hang on. Yoni! Yoni, where have you been, man? I know you have been busy. Tell me about it. If you tell us about it. You know what I'm saying?
you've been working in Finland.
Yes, she has. I would like to know what's the news in Finland right now because I know Finland's pretty hot over there too with the whole socialist stuff and all that bureaucratic BS.
Well, you have a lot of things going on. You have the Italians protesting. You also
Mm-hmm.
have the Greeks protesting, which
Mm-hmm.
a little if you know a little about my background, then you'll know that you know that's pretty based. And then you've got the French that are up in arms also. The Australians are up in arms right now. So like everyone is starting to kind of realize where this is all heading. But it doesn't seem
Good
like
luck, buddy.
the world apparatus is willing to stop from going in that direction. I think that's where they're wanting to go at this point. So, because that's where the money is, just like YouTube. And when you uh, more or less nationalize these platforms or industries uh, in a subversive way, where it more or less becomes the fifth column of government, if you will, then that's why we're here. Because I mean, you've got like uh, press secretary Chucky, if you will. Like, I mean, she let it slip. It's like they're literally asking these social platforms to quote unquote uh, censor misinformation, and I don't understand when censorship became a dirty word. Like that all again. If we have to go back to that point, it's going to be around the 60s. It's going to be around Vietnam. It's going to be around civil rights. Used to be censorship was a way of keeping quote the dirty behavior out of the home. I mean, before you could see pornography. Um, Now it's
all right,
we
I'm back. Sorry.
okay, you know
Go
oh
use
we're a free and open society.
How
We trust
socialism
you to do
sucks.
what's best for you. You find that when you have an open and free society, people won't necessarily do what's best for them. So, because again, you're taking the reins off of uh, certain guideposts that normally would be the church's job to tell you uh, how to have a clean life. or clean living, if you will. Not necessarily, oh, porn is bad. No, of course it's bad, but it's bad for so many other reasons. Um,
You want to list those reasons?
no, not really. Just because it's a whole, it's a
Maybe.
whole drama in and of itself. Though the one I will go into is that it pretty much wrecks your dopamine receptors. Because
True.
you end up looking for a dopamine
Every
high.
I, the social media is doing that too. Like
Oh
I
yeah,
can,
social media does that. Social media will naturally do that.
yeah,
Just like the whole system of using the like button. It's the same thing.
yeah.
You're looking for self validation at that point. It's the same thing with Facebook. If you post a comment, you're literally watching to see how many likes you get. Like me personally, I'm not on Facebook and I'm not on Twitter. So, but people will send me screen caps of tweets, or I'll come across a few like in my daily routine of going through alternative outlets to try to kind of get a consensus view on what's going on. I'll come across stuff like that. So, I wish warm weather actually would do that because it's pretty warm here in Nevada. So, now me personally, inside right now, it's a nice cool 72 degrees. So I can't complain.
I'm at 71.
Yeah.
What about you, Eloise?
Oh, over here. Oh, it's like I don't know. Some days it rains, some days it doesn't. It feels like the tropics in a way, but like it's kind of odd because this is New Jersey, so it should be more temperate. Like
Oh yeah, you
Hmm.
and Brian are over there. You guys are like living. You guys are the armpit of New York, just like Nevada's the armpit of Cali. So
yeah, I just I've been
yeah.
seeing so many New Yorkers in my city lately, and I'm just like kind of worried because
Oh
you
yeah,
already have.
no, like as stuff gets worse and worse in like New York. I mean, the next state over is usually greener pasture. And it's
Like
the same thing in Nevada. It's the same thing in Nevada. Like
more New
so.
York, more New Yorkers and Pennsylvanians are coming over here. So like, and the funny thing is, they have their EBT cards like from the other states, but they're living over here. So I don't know how that works.
That's crazy. That's crazy. That's shady. That's hecka shady. Because that's another way of working the system.
Yeah, and I've seen people like with 3 or 4 cards, and I see them go through like them all to like
Yeah.
you know get the purchase and stuff like that, and I'm just like, why?
Yeah. Like I've heard that. Me personally, I've never seen someone with multiple EBTs, but I've heard that. So because
Wow.
the system is so broken. Like okay, so just to kind of give you an idea, like okay, so um to work in certain regulated areas, you need to have FBI background check. Um, but, however, not some states, not all states, will just regulate that to within the particular state that you're looking to be employed in. Some states go through the whole thing, like you know, they'll run you through the nationwide database. You come back clean, okay, there's a conditional offer. But some, they're like, well, since you're working here in this state, we just need to make sure that you don't have any open felonies or misdemeanors. They'll run you through that. Boom, you come clean, and you're good to go. So, oh wow, 30 Celsius. That's interesting. That's
Mm,
very interesting. It's a little warm. So,
Wait, what's that in Fahrenheit? I,
uh,
I
here I'll
can't
Google it.
math right now.
You can't math right now.
I
Psh.
can't math right now. I had a busy day today at
Okay.
work.
I I'll be honest. Whenever somebody said something in Celsius, I'm just like, I'm lost because I only know the Fahrenheit thing, and then it's just
Well, it comes around. It's like around 85. It ends up being like mid 80s. Like once you get into like Celsius and stuff like that.
mm.
Like so I mean, it's not bad. I mean, being in Nevada, I'm used to triple digits. So I mean, to me, even 86 is still warm, but because I'm so used to extreme heat living in the desert, like that to me would be more
Even
favorable,
Yoni can't math.
like than triple digit weather. Like as you get towards Laughlin, you'll get into like the high like 118, 119, anywhere from 120 to 125. Like
Wait,
that's too
Artificer,
high.
where do you live? Like, or wait, is it? I forgot. Finland, I think, or was
Hmm.
it
Yeah, the land
Samuel?
of coffee. The
Samuel
land of
is from
coffee.
Finland. Same with Yoni,
Yep.
Uh,
Yeah, they love their coffee.
and they're Conan.
Just like I do, dude. I'm going through my third cup already. I've actually tried to lay off the coffee. It's really funny. I came across an article. I don't know why people pay to do
You know,
this
you
type of
want
stuff.
you want to join with us?
join us.
Have a little fun. Get stuck with us. Take a break from Ishi for a while.
But yeah, there's a study that says, oh, coffee shrinks your brain. They're talking about the caffeine. Yeah, no S Sherlock,
I thought
no S
it was
Sherlock.
pretty hard or something.
Well, okay, coffee is a diuretic, so yeah, if you're drinking it all the time, yeah, your body's gonna have to pull water from somewhere. So, but they're like, yeah, because I mean, we're talking woke medicine at this point because even medicine is going there. So
Yeah.
they're like, yeah, make sure you drink a cup of water with your cup of coffee. It's like you should know that already.
Okay, I should stop. I love Ishi. I don't want to slam on him too much today. You feel right
Well,
at home
well,
at
see,
Ishi's. I mean,
I've never hung out. I've never hung out with Ishi, and I've never hung out with Greenie.
I think you would felt right at
So
home with
I don't
Ishi.
know that's a little too out in the boonies even for me. So
What? Ishi's cool though. Like,
oh, I'm
Where you
sure.
want me to, Yoni? Where you want me to send it? Twitter or MeWe? Let me know.
Cool new headset. That's awesome. I use the Corsair now. I have a Turtle Beach. I like my Turtle Beach, but I am always like phobic that somehow I'll end up pulling on the cord because of the way it's like built. Like
Hmm.
it has like a heavy like control. It has like a little control
Right.
panel towards the end of the cord. So if you're not careful, you'll yank on it, and that's how I ended up killing the first one. I actually found a dude in Idaho who was willing to part with his, and I bought his headset to replace my headset. I was like, dude, I'll give you
artificial
money for
intelligence,
it.
maybe.
Yeah, I see it.
No,
I'm about to send it to him right now.
cool, cool. But what did you guys want to talk about? I mean, I can
I was
talk.
going to ask Eloise. So, what happened at Target today?
I mean, the Target I went to was the one in it was the one on one of the routes, like the highway. You
Hmm.
get what I'm saying, right? Yeah, it was on there. Instead of going to the other one that was nearer to where I live, like the one on the routes, they have a lot of more stuff, but I don't I don't really, how you guys are saying they separate stuff like the children's toys and stuff like that they don't separate it. They do. Like the one that I've been to, they separate the things based on, categories and the men's side, the women's side. So I don't know where the thing that they don't separate it is coming from. The uh
What did you
oh,
say?
did you guys understand what I'm trying to say? Sorry.
Kinda.
The toys and stuff. Like
Oh,
it's
separation. You talking about so they're still on that merge everything kick.
no, they're not on the merger though. Like the ones that I've been to, it's all been separated. Like there's no merger going
Okay.
on. Every area is its own area. I'm sorry.
Interesting.
I'm trying to be vague so I don't like give away where I live. So I kind of like,
Right. Right.
yeah.
As I was like, kind of lost here, but okay.
We've been going for 40 minutes. It feels like we just started. Feels like literally
Uh,
we've only been on there for like 5 minutes. It's so weird.
yeah, I mean, we got like
But yeah,
4 people, 3 people. It fluctuated, but like
yep.
it's going good so far.
I hope I didn't tank it.
Nah, you're good. Yeah, so like I was saying before, like no, I've just been going through my stuff, just itemizing everything because like if you don't keep everything together, if you don't group any like stuff together, you don't know how much you have. So
Yeah.
like as far as like my over the counter stuff, personal care stuff, like I'm just literally taking like I'm itemizing like all the stuff I have because I'm like well before I start buying more stuff, let me make sure I use up everything I already have. So but yeah, no. In terms of, I know you asked me if I was looking at places. I originally was looking at Iowa. I'm definitely going to take Iowa out. Because the problem with Iowa is it sits right next to Illinois. Sorry, Schooner, but it sits right next to Illinois, and Iowa is
Be
what
fine if we
people
heard
would
them in the
consider a
distance. No
swing
problem.
state.
I really want
And
to move to Texas, but like the whole thing with Austin, it's kind of unnerving. Like they
Oh,
really.
what did Austin do this time?
oh,
I mean,
Austin is
out on
terrible.
the it's like street fights and stuff, like Antifa, like whacking people with posts and stuff. I don't know. Like I don't know how people
Uh,
from unsafe space live there, but like man, like
hey
Well,
I
the
would
Yoni.
thing with hey
Texas.
Yoni.
Hey, people.
Hello.
Oh my gosh, your headphones sound really clear. I like it.
Yep.
Yeah, and these are cheaper than the ones I bought like months ago. Go
That's
figure.
terrible. It's terrible. Did you at least return the other ones and tell them, hey, you know what, they suck?
No, because I haven't tried them with my PC, so figured.
Ah, okay. Yeah, this is my
Uh,
backup
Yeah.
set, which just became like my
This
regular
is
set.
this is gonna take some time to get used to, considering
I
the
like
quality of
these
the
though because
previous
with the other
headphones.
ones,
I
you always
love them.
sounded like it always sounded like you were like from in the like in a room, like talking to the other side of the room because you could, well, I don't know, it just sounded like you were farther away. These actually
Hmm.
sound clear. I like these. So
oh yeah, that's because earlier I used my phone as my microphone, so
ah, okay.
it was always moving a bit as I walk. So
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Cool. Cool.
yeah,
Cool.
yeah.
What is
That's
For
that
not
what
phone?
bad.
for whatever reason my PC doesn't connect to the internet. Probably the LAN cable is uh, a connection
Hmm.
connector is like has loosened or something, and I should just move the damn thing. But
How old is
How's
your?
your?
uh, yeah,
Go
I
ahead,
was too
Elliot.
tired.
What happened?
Go ahead. You were gonna ask him a question.
Oh, how old is your PC? Like the computer, how old is it? Like,
Uh, let's see, originally it's from 2007, but it's been upgraded, so it's like maybe 2015 quality. So
uh,
Oh, nice.
yeah,
Yep. Leia
yeah.
hasn't
I
contacted me yet.
originally was gonna do that with my PC, but then I got into like this like weird bubble where um like my drive died and then I needed something right off the bat, so I ended up with a laptop. And I was like, well, I ended up getting a used laptop. I bought it off of someone for like $300, and it was better than what I had. And even though it was the same specs, I was like, well, I don't know why I'm even bothering with the other one. I'll get to it at one point, and I never did. So, and then I literally just moved on to something else. So,
damn, I really
but
wish I
how's
was in.
Finland? I mean, I'm pretty sure there's. I was gonna say how's Finland?
I was just about to ask that
Doesn't
about,
there
but
doesn't
yeah,
seem like a lot of activities happening in Finland right now. I mean,
Yeah,
there's more activity in Sweden, but
yeah.
yeah. I suppose it's one of our uh, negative points is that we tend to be a rather mellow people. That it takes a lot, and I mean a lot of things to get us really angry. And Samuel is the one who's more politically active because I've been working evening and night shift so long. My life has been completely isolated from normal society, so I haven't really bothered to uh, get involved. So Samuel would be more able to answer like political questions. But there have been a lot of protests against well, bloody well everything.
Oh wow.
Uh, yeah,
I think
uh,
I think I saw some of the videos because like I follow someone on Twitter like who's from Finland. I think they're pretty upset about like Antifa and stuff. They're always going on about how Antifa is this and that, and yeah, I feel kind of worried for him because like you know
It's
it
so
sounds serious there like and Europe in general like it's like I don't know how to explain
yeah,
it.
no, it's so crazy. It's so crazy that like even distance wise, even though we're divided by such a large distance, we're all almost almost in consensus having to deal with similar things right now because of the way things are shaping out. Yeah, like I've been in my own bubble too. Like I don't really keep up with the happenings in my own, in my own personal state. But
When I say I live on a rock, I literally live on a rock. I don't. I'm hardly slow. I'm
And
always slow in uptake.
yep.
I wish I could like you know like once you become aware of things like you can't really go back to how things used to be like you
Yeah, you
just
can't really unsee it. Yeah,
You
I
wish you
know.
had taken the blue pill.
yeah
No, no, you really don't. Like, you don't because right now you would start asking questions.
Mm.
That's kind of where you would be right now if you were in blue pill land. You would start asking questions. The whole, well, if it's supposed to protect me, then why am I having to take more?
mm,
And then
Hmm.
you go down that little rabbit hole where you find out more and more and more and more about what you're reading, and you're like, oh, this sucks. This sucks a lot. So
mm.
I
Uh,
just don't I don't know how people can like like I was saying the other day about like my teacher and stuff they're still stuck in the 60s or something.
oh yeah, like a lot of that boomer generation, that's where they live. I mean,
Hmm.
that's pretty much it.
Everything was better in my generation. Yeah,
yeah,
right.
Well, no, no, no,
uh,
no, 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 not
uh,
all of them. More of the liberal boomers. I
Yeah.
mean, that's their heyday. I mean, the '60s in Vietnam. I mean, that was their heyday. You were gonna say something, Joni?
yeah, a few things that it's a common psychological thing that you sort of get stuck in a certain decade, usually around your 20, late teens, mid 20s, around there, and it's not like you're like stuck, but part of you is always going back to that period,
Hmm.
and it's just like quirk of human psychology. And uh, earlier about the equality of outcomes and such, the, at least the way it was back in my day is that it was not about getting equality of outcome. It was at least the way we were taught is that we're trying to get. It's not 100% possible to get a
Yeah,
equal start, but we should at least try to give everybody a
A
close
shot.
enough, yeah,
yeah,
close enough
yeah,
shot so that everybody has a shot
yeah,
at
yeah, yeah.
getting somewhere. And just as an example, that on a practical sense, school lunches. I watched American TV and I see, oh, you have to pay for school lunches. Okay, we do that too, but that's on like uh, university levels and such.
Hmm.
But through basic school, like kindergarten through high school equivalents, the food is paid for, and
Yep.
that's always been like, in my opinion, uh, okay. That helps alleviate childhood nutrition problems,
Hmm.
and when you're well fed, you can concentrate better on schools. But okay, it's just how I see it. I'm not completely opposed to the Nordic model. I just think it should be modified a bit.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I think if you tend to follow art, if you tend to follow the stuff that happens here, it's what you'll see a lot of is the fluctuation in the quality of the
Mm.
food for these children, whether kindergarten through 12th grade. You'll see the quality literally fluctuate.
Oh
Um,
yeah, that's a big problem. Like,
yeah,
or
yeah,
mm.
yeah. So and that to me, even going through elementary school, you know, me personally, it's what they serve now is definitely very different than when they served before. So
Mm.
like, I mean, I mean, I mean, I hate to say it, but even then, I mean, they were serving sugar like crazy. I mean,
Oh
in
Hmm.
terms
yeah.
of cereal, yeah, like even okay. So I don't know what your breakfast was like, Wolf, but I know for me, I mean, I could choose between a cinnamon roll or I can choose between two donuts. Like, I mean, that's
You're
terrible
talking
for
about
me.
elementary, right?
Yeah.
Mm.
So
For
So
me,
I'll give you I'll give you the for when I give you the rundown of what we were having for breakfast and lunch over at my school in elementary, the school that I went to. So wait, I'm remembering high school. No, go far back to
now,
elementary.
mind you, like you didn't start out in California, did you? Like, or have
I
you
was
always?
born and raised in California,
Yeah. Okay.
L.A.
So yeah. So you and I went through a similar school system. My parents
We
ended up in
subsist on we subsisted on cereal, sometimes hamburgers,
hmm
and some weird stuff that I didn't like looking at.
Yeah. Like
But
I got bounced around a bit. Like I had some public early on, and then I went completely private, and then I bounced right back into the public school system, and that was like a culture shock for me.
yeah,
So
uh, I've always been like growing up. I would go to like public schools. Um,
always public
uh,
for me.
yeah, my parents can't really afford to send me to a private school or anything like that when I was growing up. But I mean, what was I gonna say? Oh, for like elementary, I remember that they would like they had this freezer where they would take the food out of and then they would heat it up and that's what we would get served.
yeah,
And how
Um,
do you know that?
because the freezers were like right there, like where they had the place where where people would get their
yeah.
trays and line up. Like the freezers were right in front of us.
So you got an idea. What they had that out in the open. I've never seen that in my elementary school, or I
Well,
wasn't paying attention.
where did you go to school, Alois? Was it in Austin or?
Oh no, New Jersey. I've always lived in New Jersey.
Okay, okay, so the Jersey school system. See, there's slight differences from like state to state.
Mm.
Like how I ended up in public school was my parents finally split up. That was like the biggest uproar. Like I'll leave that one alone. That's one for another day.
Yeah,
Hmm.
But
for high school, for me, like what happened was they would have these I don't know, the people that come in to examine stuff,
mhm,
like I don't know what they're called, I don't remember. But examiners would come to the school. So like when the examiners would show up, the I think I'm not sure if it was the principal or whoever's in charge of the kitchen stuff. They would show off the best stuff they had, and
mhm.
then once the examiners left, they
Yeah, like
would go back to
inspectors.
the worst food.
That's crazy. That's crazy. That actually sounds like an employer I worked for at one point. that's that's insane. So okay, so like all right, so in high
Are we
school,
blowing your mind yet, Yoni?
No, so sounds like stories I've heard from America
Yeah.
or and seen on like TV shows and whatnot.
Yeah, I'm not
I'm
That's it.
sure
cool.
that
I don't put ketchup on my pasta. I'm not cool.
I'm sure there are stories like in Finland as well, but
Yeah.
I have this like idea that some things are just universal humanity, and regardless of economic, religious, or whatever, there's always going to
Yeah.
be some places that are worse than others in the same country. And
Mhm.
compared to neighboring countries, some things are going to be better or worse. So
Mm.
I just uh, think that just try to improve things bit by bit and try to see how people do other places, see if that could be implemented in your place, blah de blah
Yeah.
de blah. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
like uh, it's the whole uh, perfect is the enemy of good, or however that phrase goes.
Mhm.
Hmm.
That's a common problem, is that people who are obsessed with perfection, they'll try to go for that one particular vision of perfection, and they'll refuse to watch or look or even consider alternatives, even if they might be easier to implement, or just well,
Flynn, am
be
I still the
different.
creator of the perfect system? Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm.
Oh,
Well, yeah. I
I guess
mean,
I take it you guys haven't watched Tron Legacy yet.
yeah,
Nope.
I have. I know where that's from. It's from the
I
final act.
I
Uh,
remember when it was airing, like on theater or something. I don't know.
Mm.
Like I remember the back when there was hype around like Tron and the Disney one. I think. But
yeah.
Uprising.
yeah,
Yeah.
Oh,
No,
that
I was watching a recorded interview earlier today with Robert Bork, who wrote the book "Slouching Slouching into Gomorrah," and that's in it's sort of a point of what with equality of opportunities. Then we start looking further and further and further and further into something to the point where we get
damn. Everybody's roboting on my end.
it no longer
I
becomes
noticed it too. I'm
yeah it like no
adjusting
longer
things.
becomes about the opportunity, it then becomes about the outcome. It's like the outcome
Hang on a sec, Trooper.
in terms of oh well, if we have to go ahead and try to give everybody, an equal shot at an opportunity. Hmm.
Eloise, are you still there?
Yeah, I'm here. I'm
She's got
just
her mute on.
yeah. It's because I have to prepare my lunch for tomorrow. For tomorrow. Yeah.
Everybody, mic check. Can y'all
Hello.
hear me clearly?
Yep.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Am I lagging? Am I
Yep.
falling behind?
No,
You're
not really.
coming in clean.
I think it's on my end, like the internet, because I use mobile internet, so it sounds like everybody's roboting. But you know, it's
Mm.
probably just me.
I'm just closing out some tabs just in case, just to level it out. Because I thought it was just me, just on my end mostly, and everybody's doing just fine talking. But yeah, everybody continue. Whoever was talking.
Uh, I could
Wait, can you guys
give
hear
us.
background noise, or it's good?
Uh
Hello.
oh, what's going
Oh,
on here?
uh,
We can I can hear you.
Trooper. I think Trooper is not here. Trooper, are you there?
Hang on,
Oh, Joni, are you there?
oh
Johnny's
yeah.
here.
Oh, yeah, I want to give a small side distraction. read the other day about an archaeological dig in Poland, and it's quite a interesting one because they found a, a 15th century body in a cave, which is pretty interesting because at that point almost nobody was buried in caves, and
Hmm.
well, based on the artifacts on the body, clothing, and such, and DNA testing, they found that oh yeah, this is a Finnish Finnish child, a girl, aged maybe what 10 to 12, and they don't think she was murdered because she was buried with great care. And this interesting thing is they found a bird's skull in her mouth, and they think this must be some uh, pagan uh,
Ritual.
ritual or remnants of such because uh, well, even in Finland they had been Christian for centuries by then,
Hmm.
but old folk belief was still in place, especially the birds are souls and the archaeologists figured that because they couldn't bury her in Finland, they buried her in a cave and gave her this bird skull to like guide her soul back to Finland and from there to heaven.
Oh wow, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
I had heard something similar to that. I don't know if it was the same body or whatnot, but I think that they found a body that was frozen, and then they like found its like last meal in its stomach. So I don't know if it's the same body, but that's actually
Probably a different one
yeah, yeah.
because if it was frozen, it couldn't have been in a cave, or probably not in a cave. It would have to have been in something where with permafrost,
Mm.
that's how I understand things.
Oh, nice. That's
Mm.
still pretty cool. It's still pretty cool.
Mm.
I mean, there are things that I like looking into, like forbidden archaeology, that usually tends to contradict like mainstream archaeology. I love that stuff too. I don't get too much into the weeds with it, uh, because with some of that stuff, me personally, I tend to think some of that's better left to to conjecture and for another day. And then with some of it, yeah, I can see the value to it, as in terms of what it brings in terms of quality to human society. So, but yeah.
Mm. Oh yeah, and I just remember another thing that around that time, because the kingdom of Sweden was at war with Poland or its kingdoms, uh, Finns gained a reputation of being witches. Yeah.
Oh
Oh yes,
no,
the silent witches of
crazy.
Finland.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah,
Or or
and
bad if you however you want to take it.
yeah, I have this. I remember this reading of this Polish movie that. Oh no, wait! It was a Russian movie that was popular in Poland because
Hmm.
the Poles were shown as competent villains, and they really loved that in Poland. I have this similar similar reaction to like, oh, Finns are like badass witches. I love that.
Okay, so let me get this straight. Well, actually, no. Uh, have there's ever been any movies that portrayed the Finnish as incompetent?
Not incompetent, but there was this uh, Australian Russian movie that was apparently showed quite recently in movie festivals that had
Hmm.
Finns as cannibals.
Oh
Mm.
no.
Yeah.
It
Oh,
reminds me of some of the propaganda films that get shown in South Korea in regards to North Korea, because I have a South Korean friend who was telling me about that stuff. That for a while there, they had a lot of propaganda films going on both sides. On both sides, in terms of
Yeah,
North
South Korea
Koreans
is no
are
different.
telling their populace
Almost.
about the South Koreans, and yeah, yep, And some of it, yeah, some of the eating the children came into it. I'm like, that's wild. I'm like, that's crazy.
Especially when you think of Train to Busan and Seoul,
Hmm.
how they make some mentions sometimes. Like in Busan, one of the characters mentioned re-education.
Mm.
Um, some characters in CO has their own little statements, which could sound like statements that one side says about the other,
Hmm.
which was interesting. Like there was a scene where you didn't really think that your first thought would have been this person was infected and coming in to bite them, the
Hmm.
characters in question, and she mostly ran up to him just to chastise them about not doing anything with their lives and blaming them for catastrophes because they're not doing anything with their lives. So you need to get.
That sounds
She's
like
like
most
she's
teenagers.
no. This was an older woman though. That's
Really,
the thing. That was the kicker.
I don't know.
It was this. It was like some random hobo woman just looking at them, growling, sweating profusely, having a bit of a froth in her mouth, and she just start running at them, and then she stops just to chastise them. It's like
Oh,
you guys are you need to get off your lazy behinds and get up and do something with your lives, something to that effect. And it was just hilarious because, like I said, it was built up like this whole big big tense moment, and she just stops and just starts chewing them out. I
hmm,
was like, wow, that's crazy.
Sounds like
that's
a well executed bait and switch.
It is. It definitely was. Though I watched CO on CO Station on YouTube without the subtitles, so I didn't know until I like looked at Wild Such Gaming's video on it,
hmm,
and he basically he inadvertently clarified what happened in that scene.
hmm.
I was like, oh, so that's what happened. Of course, oh, a good bad switch. You only if you guys don't mind me spoiling it.
No, you're good.
Eloise is mute. I didn't hear her consent.
She's preparing her meals for tomorrow, so I'm sure she's cool with it.
All right. So there's this one character that's the father of one character that he's looking for, and he's helping the boyfriend of the character look for her. And by the time they get to her, it comes to find out that the girlfriend was actually a prostitute, and that guy
Hmm.
was her pimp who was coming to collect on her money.
Ah.
I think
Of
I
all,
saw a video about this. Yeah.
what's funny was that's the reason why you want to get to her, especially as the world is as basically Korea is basically falling into to chaos right now. That's the one thing that's on your mind, or at least the top priority. To make matters worse, he ends up killing the boyfriend and attempts to rape the girl. Unbeknownst to him, she already got bit by one of the infected, so she ends up dying and becoming a an infected and starts tearing him apart at the end. Which,
Hmm.
as you may know, Busan and Seal Station are they're like basically at the top of their game when it comes to doing well crafted downer endings, or at least bittersweet endings. In the case of Busan, Busan has a bittersweet ending, whereas CO has a straight up downer ending where a lot a lot of the characters that you
Seen
were
Busan the with the bus, right? I mean the train where
Train to
it.
Busan.
Yeah, I've seen it before. My cousin was watching it on Netflix, so
I think it's
I
still
got.
on Netflix.
That's good.
But yeah, but earlier I was talking about its animated prequel called Seal
There's a pre.
Station. hmm it's an animated one.
Uh,
Yeah.
it
Seal.
like was
Go
it
ahead.
originally a comic or is it just all film? Like
It's all film. It's not a comic. It's an animation. Really good too. Really good animation. A
Yeah.
lot a lot of people complained that the one of the main characters that we were following doesn't close the doors behind her every time she was running. There's a whole long chase sequence where she's running, but she never closes a single door behind her while infected are chasing her.
I mean,
And I'm
I
just
think that makes sense. Like, because if that were me running, I probably wouldn't be able to like close the door if people were like chasing
like
after me.
if you're really stopping to really close the door, you can't really you don't have enough time to gauge how fast the infected are running or which infected is the fastest. Like
Yeah,
each infected has a level of speed depending on who the age and biology of of that person. So you're not gonna just think to close the door just yet. I mean, we're not like in Busan where they actually did close the door, but they only closed the door when they got a bit of a distance from them enough. When they were in quick thinking mode where okay, I'm at a good distance, close the door. Whereas she's not as like nearly the fastest, but she was like really lucky was getting lucky streaks here and there where she was shimmying across a what's it called scaffold, and the infected were just chasing after her, shambling and falling over themselves, pretty much. But like I said, she I think she either got scratched or bit, but she took the longest to change.
uh,
Plus a lot of the characters, only like a few of them were actually pretty good, and only like two, maybe, yeah, probably two of them were pretty bad. Like the boyfriend was a douche. He barely worked for a living. He just goes goes around all day, go online for whatever reason, while she's basically prostituting herself just to get money or showing herself to get money to make ends meet in their apartment. And was again a good bait and switch was the fact that the pimp himself was shown to be kind of a cool dude until that revelation come up. He's like doing everything competently. He's like actually getting the boyfriend to man up. You know, I was like,
and then what
and,
happened? Like,
and like I said, it was revealed that he was a pimp. He was going there. He was coming to get his hoe back and and collect on that money. You know what I'm saying? But he didn't want to stop there. He attempted to rape her, but the problem, but jokes on him. She was already infected, so she ends up um, jumping on top of him and just tearing him apart as the
damn.
infected do. What'd you say, Eloise?
No, I said damn. Like,
Yeah. It's
wow.
like it ends on a down end because every character in CLC that you're following majority of dies throughout. Like everybody dies in that movie aside from Busan, which is it I call that one a bittersweet ending, whereas Seal Station is a complete downer ending. But I will avoid Busan 2.
What happened? Like, did Netflix
Let's
affect it?
It's not on Netflix, but let's just say there's some things that are happening in it. I only going by the trailers, but I heard people didn't like the sequel. There are some things in there that I'm like, what? Like what? What is this? What? It's like say
I feel bad
like
for Korea. Like,
put you like this. It's like the first zombie movie that the first great zombie movie was George Romero's Night of the Living Dead, right? And then the sequel is Zack Snyder's Dawn of the Dead. You're getting a great character piece that features zombies and humans, right? And then you get Zack Snyder's Dawn of the Dead, which I would say is still not bad to this day, but I still don't get for like me. I still don't get what's this man's obsession of zombie babies because he did that in Army of the Dead. Like zombie babies are not creepy Zach. We're still questioning the logistics of how that's able to happen, especially especially when it Army of the Dead, one of the zombies actually gives birth to a baby. Like how Zach, you gotta explain that how. I can overlook the zombie
I think I
tiger.
wouldn't know. I think to that's better left unknown. Cause that like zombies are dead. So
I'm sorry, a baby cannot be conceived through a dead body. That's not possible. That's like me. Like you're asking me. You're asking my suspension of disbelief. You're asking too much right now. You actually no. I take that back. You're demanding my suspension of disbelief at this point. Completely demanding. John, you want to add anything? Because I don't want
Yeah,
to take too much.
that sounds really bizarre. I mean,
uh,
at
I'm
least with
saying the man.
vampires, at
Sorry,
okay.
least with
go ahead.
Wait, wait.
at least with vampires, you can justify it with blood magic nonsense. But with zombies, it's like just why? Even if you'd like
Twilight.
go with like uh,
No, I
tabletop
was thinking the
RPG logic of zombie
Dragon Age.
that they are like whites or like zombies plus, it still doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, when you mentioned blood magic, like my brain immediately went to Dragon Age.
For me, it went to Twilight. Like
Mm.
the stuff that
Yeah,
uh
yeah,
like I don't
yeah.
like by the rules of that lady's own universe. Like it didn't make sense that like the male vampire could like reproduce with a human. It didn't make sense.
At least
Uh,
in Underworld, they're biological vampires, not
Well,
mystical vampires.
mm. Although in uh,
Hmm.
South and East European folklore, there's the Dampir, which is a half vampire, and well, I think in most stories they imply the father is the vampire because that's easier to justify, like using like lots of blood, generate what, and one night. Whereas with a woman, you'd have to be like bathing in blood 24/7. It's like logistics. But yeah, so half vampires aren't a new idea by any means. It's centuries
In
old.
short, half vampires, you gotta work for that. You
Mm,
can't make it that easy.
mm,
yeah, but I was just the
Bless
Twilight
you.
thing didn't make sense. Like I don't know. Like I only watched those movies to a certain point because like a friend of mine, like a friend, what you call it, a friend of my mom's had a kid who was into that. So like I stopped that new moon, but like when they were explaining to me the rules of the universe, it contradicted itself.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Stephanie Meyer does not take notes, apparently. Neither does some other writers that I will point out that tends to betray their own rules for plot convenience. They know who they are.
Well, let me know if I lag because I know uh, that link that I posted took about maybe 5 seconds or so for it to show up on private chat.
Am I lagging?
But I think, huh?
Am I the one lagging?
No, no, no. But
I, um, I mean, you're doing fine, Wolf. I'm not sure about everybody else. Like, no, Joni is okay too.
Mm.
yeah, but I think where Zack Snyder like loosely gets his theory for like zombie babies like has to go back to like immortal cell lines. And when we talk about immortal cell lines, we almost always have to end up going back to like Henrietta Lacks. And
Okay.
I don't know if everybody knows about Henrietta Lacks or not. So
No, never heard of
uh,
her.
I've read
what?
up on her. She was a lady who was suffering from cancer, and I can't remember exactly, but was it mistreated or not? But anyway, her cancer cells are to this day used to study cell biology and cancer.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Like the samples that they have of her cells are still replicating. So
Wow.
yeah, they're trying to crack that one. You should know this. Dude,
She's not talked about in my schools, man.
yeah, but she's a POC.
No, she's not.
Yes, she is.
I see her picture, man. Oh, she
I don't
is.
I don't remember. I don't
Wait a
remember
minute.
this.
It's the lighting that's throwing me off. She looks too white.
To be honest, that I don't remember anything that I learned in school. I feel like
You
my
know,
brain.
I wouldn't be surprised because like
Hmm.
education has been more or less like being watered down. Like I'll tell you what, like I mean Nevada now is number 2, or rather the second lowest state in quality of education now. So we're like ranked like number 48.
Mm.
So
Oh, what about New Jersey? Where is that at? Because like I don't
oh, I
remember.
would have to look that up. Yeah, like I would have to look that up.
Get on it.
Oh, you're going to Seattle Bacon? Oh, I'm sorry. You got to go through all that woke Tifa mess to get there.
Hmm.
But
Oh, hey, goddamn bacon!
yeah, yeah, yeah. Like yeah, no, like
Talking
read that
about zombie
article.
babies, raping pimps, and zombie hookers eating up their pimps,
Hey,
and weird Zack Snyder fetishes like zombie babies. You know that whole shindig.
Yeah, you'll have to read that article uh
Hmm.
whenever you have a moment, Wolf. That's some pretty interesting stuff. That's a whole other rabbit hole to go down, but
oh,
definitely not a YouTube friendly rabbit hole to go down. So
stay safe, the goddamn bacon, because it's a mess from what I've heard about Seattle. Like I just,
yeah, yeah, no, it's a mess right now. It's a mess right now because
I wonder what Bacon's laughing
uh,
about.
oh, because I
it's a
gave
mess.
it's, I, I don't know.
Oh, oh, he'll clarify.
Well, Washington State is a mess right now
No
because
shit.
just like Oregon, well, Oregon has it a lot worse than Washington State. In terms of what Ted Wheeler did in terms of trying to cut funding to go ahead and let this
I
kind of stuff that was going on.
I find it hard to believe that, like, I don't know. I mean, a part of me already knew this already. Like growing up, my dad always told me never trust a politician because all they do is tell lies. But at the same time, it just baffles me that there are so many people that are incompetent. Like how? Like I just don't get it. Like are we really like are people really that dumb that they'll elect somebody who's dumber? Like I don't know. I mean, on another,
Yes and
I,
no.
I mean,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah, but I mean, simultaneously, I think it's a good thing that it's dumb people that are in power because if they were competent,
Oh,
that's
you'd be
more
surprised.
concerning.
Yeah, no,
Like,
you'd be surprised. I think Joni. I think his connection's a little off. He might come back.
He's
Yeah,
back.
no, no, no. You'd be surprised. Oh, there he goes. Hey, Joni.
Oh, hey, sorry, accidentally clicked the back reverse, whatever.
I did that. I did that when I was using StreamYard on my cell phone the first time. I was like, eh. See, no festivities in Seattle so far. Portland, I hear a different story. Durkin is getting booted, though, but not many good candidates to replace her aside from maybe
You're
what?
blowing on your
And
mic,
that sounds like
Eloise.
oh,
that.
sorry,
That sounds like a
I,
typical Washington
I don't
State.
really know
So
what my mic is because like I'm using a phone.
Hmm.
Yeah, it's hard to tell.
yeah, 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 no worries, no worries.
Yep. I was at Matthew Flynn's stream earlier
Oh, really?
talking
How was
about
that?
Ben 10. That's not that bad. Of course,
What they did to the show, like at the end, like when they had the last season. I mean, the two most recent seasons where they, where they kidified it, like, I mean, where they turned it into like a preschooler cartoon. Like,
Mhm.
I feel really sad. Like,
Yeah, starting with
um,
Omniverse, and then later on, and
the reboot.
yeah, I've seen the new look of Ben 10. I'm like, I'm so glad I stopped that Omniverse. I
Same,
really am. I really
and
am glad I stopped that Omniverse.
they killed Gwen. Like, Gwen's character design is terrible. I I think when
Let
they
me guess, they removed her tits, didn't they?
no, like they turned her into, like, she was beautiful during like the Alien Force and the other one, but then after
Ultimate
they,
Alien.
yeah, Ultimate Alien, then they went to then when it got to Omniverse, the design was terrible. But
Yeah, all their
Well, you have to
designs were
look at
terrible.
what year. You have to look at what year it was released. That'll tell you everything.
I'll
And
tell you what what,
um,
what the trend was.
I don't I don't say it enough. I mean, I tend to sound like a broken record, but I mean, if you want to keep a gauge on popular, once you figure out what was going on socially within the political sphere, that literally tells you everything that was going on. In terms of Hollywood, in terms of cable programming, in terms of like everything, like I mean, like what we're seeing now with all these franchises, it's the same thing. Like it's just an echo chamber of what's going on in the larger sphere. So, but yeah, no, Unqualified says, yeah, the whole country is kind of a mess. Oh yeah, I mean, that's everywhere, unfortunately. So,
Hmm.
in terms of a few places, they're obscure, and I mean, they're, I mean, you'd have to, now that he brings that up, you'd have to like kind of dig up a few articles. I think there was an article in Zero Hedge that was more or less referring to the quote rise of flyover country. Pretty much, pretty much, the theme of that particular article was, given the social climate on the east and west coast, what you're going to see a lot of, and you're kind of already seeing it some, and you'll also see it across Europe as well. Is you're going to see like kind of like a change in demographics as people move from one area to another area to another area to another area. And unfortunately, what tends to happen is most people, when they move, they tend to literally bring their values with them. They don't leave them there. I mean, the whole point of moving is that you're moving to a new place to do something different. So um, that's kind of like what happens here in Nevada. Since what tends to happen is like, and this is something that I was going to do. I don't know if anybody kind of watches Nick Johnson on YouTube. I was telling Wolf about
Sounds
this
familiar.
in the green room. So Nick Johnson is a YouTuber who's literally gone across the country and
Oh
has
yeah, him.
done like an analysis on the 50 states. Like if you pull up his channel, you can find a whole bunch of unboxing videos if you want to learn about a particular state. You can go through the playlists, and they're pretty much kind of broken down into areas like top 10, East Coast, West Coast, like the Dakotas, that kind of stuff. So, I mean, if you're really
I
interested in learning about other states,
really admire like Dakota, like the governor there, like South Dakota, because they
mhm,
didn't close. Like, that took a lot of guts, and she was receiving so much hate from everybody else. But like, I respect her, like, her fortitude to like stand by her decision to not close, to not shut down the state. And South Dakota really benefited from that. Their
yeah.
their economy is in a good state right now. Like, I
Oh
just
yeah,
I
yeah, like
yeah,
yeah,
I,
like
I really respect her.
God,
Like, yeah, I really like. I just have to
yeah,
applaud her.
like you'll notice, like
Backbone. Like, there needs to be more people like that that have backbones to like tell these people no, because like it's getting to be too much, and like I'm just tired of everybody just like bowing to pressure like that. But like at the same time, I understand that why they do that,
mhm.
because like, you know, then they're gonna. It's like being on,
Oh well, yeah,
like, sort of,
I see
hello,
what you posted there, Trooper.
the sort of what's it called again? The sort of dominant. Cool, I can't pronounce it.
Domino effect.
No,
Damocles,
A
the
domino
sword of
effect.
Damocles.
Yeah, domino effect.
yeah, that's what
Or
I was
well,
gonna say. The
yeah,
sword.
sorry, Damocles also.
Yeah, that's yeah. It's like you're damned if you know. I don't
Damned
know.
Well,
if you do, damned if you don't.
Yeah.
right. Well, what I was gonna say was, so I ended up commenting. I ended up commenting on what tends to kind of happen in Southern Nevada, and and I still actually have to get back to him. He sent me a correspondence. I gotta kind of come up with the time and figure, he wants to discuss if I
Okay.
decide to going on with in terms of social pressure from the populace on the governor of South Dakota. It's the same thing. It's a little different uh, in Nevada. It just like really kind of tend to almost always unilaterally kind of change the face of the state. When we look at places like Los Angeles, San Francisco, and then of course sometimes you can say San Diego, or sometimes you can even go and say Northern California and go right into big tech country, if you will. Like a few cities literally will change of the same thing. Vegas, Las Vegas more or less is
Wow. One of the shit
drives
movies
the
is,
rest of
is
the state in
opening on my
terms of
mom's
state
birthday.
revenue.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah.
Suicide Squad.
Which one is that?
I'm not taking her.
I don't know when that's watching it. I don't think there's really a demand for it. I think there might be a demographic for it. I mean, James Gunn has his own following, and DC is its own following, but I don't know if it's going to be big enough. I will tell you this:
They know how to
Suicide
advertise.
Squad will definitely outsell Black Widow, and that's something I haven't really talked
I just don't like the fact that they're
about.
taking on Starro,
And I think
one of the
that's
Justice
a
League's
film that's
greatest accomplishments.
getting a lot of attention in terms of Marvel's first flop,
Did you hear me?
Yeah, heard you.
sort of.
I was saying I just don't like the fact that they're taking on Starro, one of the
Yep.
Justice League's greatest accomplishments, which is
Um,
fighting a mind controlling starfish.
I wouldn't call that an accomplishment, but okay, yeah, yeah. So
is
I was
anybody
like,
still
go ahead,
like?
Eloise.
No,
what's
I was
that,
gonna
Al?
ask, buddy, if anybody was still here, like for the comments or the chat. I don't know.
Yeah, comments are going in.
I think, yeah, yeah.
I think we should address the comments. I don't know. Like we're kind of just talking
Do you?
amongst. Oh, man. Hello.
No, I hear you.
Bacon just I don't want to pull up somebody name on screen, but Bacon was talking about a friend finally moved to Grand Rapids.
Yeah, yeah. Well, okay. So let's
Hey,
see.
Victoria.
Victor. Oh, you didn't go to Ishi's stream. You stayed.
What?
No,
You
he
stayed
just
for
didn't
the
That?
full.
stream that long. Sometimes he does 50 minutes.
You stayed
Sometimes
for
he
the
do an
quality.
hour.
Well,
Hey, I
Unqualified
like that
makes a
song.
comment. That most leftists can't afford to live in their state of origin, hence why they moved to Nevada, Arizona, Colorado, North Carolina, and Georgia. Um, well,
They have.
the thing with Nevada's always been one of those. Nevada is literally like the New Jersey of the West Coast, and a lot of people don't really kind of tend to look at it that way. So when I say that, um, Nevada, in and of itself, has always benefited from demographic changes from California. You don't get a lot from Idaho. because if you look at us, in map wise, we're literally surrounded by California, Idaho, Utah, and then you have Arizona. So what happens with Nevada is that you get a lot of migration from Arizona, not necessarily legal. I'll leave that at that because with the laws being such as they are in Arizona, it's really hard to find a job in Arizona if you're not necessarily legal. So you go to Nevada and you drum up some fake paperwork, and boom, you're working in a casino for $15 an hour. And I'll leave it at that. Same thing goes with California. California being almost more or less a sanctuary state, that's what tends to happen. So you get cheaper labor, which drives down wages, which at that point, California being such as it is, taxes
Real
go up,
quick.
people move to Nevada.
Uh,
So,
Joni,
Oh
what's
yeah.
what's the state of Europe like? Because like we're talking a lot about the U.S. What about Europe? Like, what's it like? Like, I know the EU thing, and there's a lot of movement there. I don't know. Like,
Mm, yeah. Uh, it's Germany's attempt at ruining Europe again, and it's like people are waking up, but there's not enough uh, hard groundswell or whatever the phrase is to push back on a really united front yet. It's gonna take some time, but people have been waking up since what 2014, 2015. So it's just gonna take some time.
Definitely.
yeah, because I heard France, like it's getting to a breaking point in France where I don't know. I remember it was, I don't know, generals or something. Some generals signed a letter and sent it to the Macron, I think that's his name.
Yeah,
mhm,
Macron. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, signed something like that, and then they threatened to, like, I don't know, secede or something because the suburbs, like there's a lot of slums and suburbs with migrants in it, and they are not culturally compatible and stuff like that. So
Mm,
yeah, so like it's getting to the point where they're gonna be fighting and stuff like that. Like, at least that's what I remember hearing.
yeah,
yeah. It's a distinct possibility that it might happen. It's not going to happen this year or even next year, but it's one of those things that are going to be inevitable if things
oh yeah,
aren't changed
mhm,
drastically. I mean, let's take Sweden for example. There were like a ridiculous amount of gang violence there,
oh yeah,
and when it comes to grenade attacks, it's almost as bad as certain war zones. And the problem is that the uh, left-wing parties are completely closing their eyes to the problems they've caused, and they simply can't admit that the people coming in have such drastically different values that are completely incompatible with the Swedish ones.
oh yeah, yeah, yeah. No,
Yeah,
I know
and
exactly
the
what you're talking about.
the problem for Finland is that a lot of the Finnish establishment have this, uh, for at least from my point, perplexing uh, awe of Sweden that they must copy everything Sweden does, and they've completely forgotten this old poem. I'll translate it as Swedes we were not, Russians we will not become, let us be Finns. They've completely forgotten the first line of that poem.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. No, I perfectly understand because that's what happens in Nevada. As California, so goes Nevada. So, um, and that's one of the things that I was going to discuss if I do this interview about living in Southern Nevada, what it's like. Because if you go to any of those unboxing videos, there's also bonus content there that interviews with people that actually live in the state to kind of give you an idea of what it's like, to kind of give you a flavor for it. I tend to be a little bit more on the cynical side of things, only because, uh, in my experience, everything I've seen in the state of Nevada, like most people just kind of tend to gravitate in what they see about Las Vegas in a pop culture sense, that that's what the state is like. And to a point that is very true, but it only extends to as far as Las Vegas and Reno. And then you go outside of these cities, mind you, Reno is actually very small, but it benefits from being right next to Tahoe, which is right next to California. So I mean, that's where they more or less get their revenue from. It's a nice place to visit, but then you go home. But it's the same thing where um, the moment you go outside of Reno or the moment you go outside of Las Vegas, it's rural. And the Bureau of Land Management owns a lot of the land in this particular state. A lot of the land is locked up. It's federal land. Now, some people might see that as a good thing in terms of federal parks and stuff like that, being maintained and stuff like that. Some people see it as a bad thing in terms of there's only so many areas that you can more or less move to, and or that the government controls. And then also there's a little bit of a complexity in terms of original water rights and original land rights in terms of ranching and farming. More so ranching than farming,
Mm.
because some of the families in Nevada have been here for a very long time, so they do still have water rights to certain areas
Do you have
that
any
are still
updates on the
considered
food
federal land.
shortage,
So
Trooper?
Oh,
what?
I completely forgot about that. Like, because I'm in the supermarket, so I still see food coming in and out, but like, the prices are rising, so I think
Oh
that's
yeah,
indicating that it's gonna start getting more difficult to, like, especially getting a hold of meat, like, because I remember hearing that like when the beer virus first started, like a lot of people that worked in like the butcheries, the people who work in the meat processing plants and stuff like
Hmm.
that, they didn't want to go to work because they were afraid of catching the the,
yeah, the cold.
the yeah,
The
Yeah,
coof, the beer
yeah,
bug.
The
yeah.
yeah,
plague.
yeah, yeah. Literally, it's a flu. It's a modified flu. That in and of itself is it's very weak when you start looking into all the paperwork that you find with it, only to find out that the injection you have access to actually has more complications that come with it. So, at
What,
that point, like I've said before, do your research. Of course, for YouTube's sake, follow the CDC guidelines. Seek an opinion of your, medical practitioner, if you will. But at the very end of the day, it's all about informed consent. So, but
Hmm.
yeah, to Bacon's comment, Montana, yeah, same thing that happens in Montana happens in Utah. So, what tends to happen in Utah anyway, because I lived in Utah. So, and yes, I do have family in Utah, and we'll leave it at that. But what tends to happen is that people will sell their like $1 million homes, if you will. They'll stop in Nevada, pick up some cheaper property, and then they literally go ahead and go right into Utah and they build their ginormous homes. So, land
uh,
in Utah is still fairly cheaper than what it is here in Nevada. Um, and land actually used to be fairly cheaper in Arizona, which has gone up in recent years. So, yeah, that's what literally tends to happen. People will migrate from California and they'll either stop in Nevada or they'll go to Idaho or they'll go to Montana. So, and what you
Hey,
really
Leia.
tend to see,
oh, Leah,
hey, Leia,
hello.
Hello, everybody. Hello, Artificial Johnny. How you all doing?
pretty good, pretty good.
Okay.
It's like you're in the middle of something, Trooper. So I will let you speak.
Oh, well, I was going to say what you'll see is when you look at an electoral map of Montana, you see where everyone is grouping up. They're grouping up in the major cities like Billings or Helena. So a lot of these palm trees that are relocating, they're all going to the more populated cities because I mean these people have no inkling of what living in a more
Cool.
independent type of environment. I mean, if you're living in Nevada, if you're living in California, you're so used to having everything at your fingertips. You can just go out and get it. You can go out and order it. You know, if you're living in Montana or if you're living in, say, Wyoming, hey, sometimes you have to go out there and you have to go use your two-way to get a deer, and that's how that's how some people more or less come across their meat. But that's only at certain times of the year, and you're only allowed to do so many. So, but
We were talking about food storage, by the way.
yeah, yep, yep.
Oh,
Yeah.
interesting
Well, it's
I
topic.
true, Bacon. It's true. They're palm trees. They're literally palm trees. And guess what? You know what you find in palm trees? You find scorpions. You find a lot of scorpions in palm trees. And
Hmm.
it's really funny. For a while there, we were importing our palm trees from Latin American countries. And so, what Nevada used to have, and not so much now, is we used to have a scorpion problem because they were importing palm trees to kind of give it that look. And what's going on in Nevada right now is that we actually tend to have like a big homeless problem, and that was something I was going to talk to Nick about. He says that a lot of people do tend to talk about the homeless problem in Nevada, but in my personal view, that only tends to happen at certain times and only in certain instances. So, uh, because we are such a tourist state, you don't hear a lot about the problems that go on in Nevada nationwide because that looks bad. So, the 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 state authority on tourism doesn't really like it when stuff about Nevada gets out that makes us look bad, because then why would you want to come to Nevada and spend a weekend in Las Vegas? So there's a lot of that going on. But Leah, welcome. What do you want to talk
Welcome.
about?
um, let's see. What is on my mind? Well, if you guys don't mind, I try to be positive. I know we touched on this on Thursday,
Mm,
but I like to hear the seems to be going around. At first, I was going to get into the He-Man debacle, but I'll get to that a little later because I don't know if anybody's here is a He-Man fan. Anything I have to
yeah.
say on it
I've been a
is
fan of 2002 He-Man, so does
well,
that
I heard
qualify?
yes. Yes, because some of the fans now think that they actually say, even the professor said that the 2000 He-Man is way better than what Kevin Smith has done. Kevin Smith basically has done what everybody, Kathleen Kennedy. Well, basically, I say it like this: it's joke wise, but Kevin Smith has basically got in bed with Kathleen Kennedy and Kevin Feige, and caught the SJW, and now pretty much doing what all of them are doing, which is killing another character on the guillotine of woke. So actually, everybody says that 2000 He-Man is way better than what he's done, and
A
everybody's
lot of people
all
are referring, like, if they're really looking for content that's not really the 80s He-Man, they're everybody's directing everybody to 2002 He-Man,
Mm,
which I again I love the original 80s, even though I never watched it before. But I still hold a love to the '02 He-Man. It's the reason why I gravitated towards 2011 Thundercats, because it reminded me so much of 2002 He-Man.
okay.
With a broader storytelling, yes. And that's not to say the '80s one didn't have broad storytellings. That is a lot. That would be a lie I'd be telling anybody, for that matter. Like, there has been stories within the '80s Thundercats and the '80s He-Man, but like I said, it these versions kind of had their own coherent story that they wanted to tell. And a lot of people like to call it, oh, it's the edgy He-Man, so, or it's the edgy Thundercats again.
Am I the
So
only one? The echo?
I
No,
think it's
that's
Yeah,
Leia.
coming from it's
what? Oh,
whoever has their
Echo.
mic
Is
up,
there
but I'm not
echo?
worried about it. I can still understand. My
I can hear
dispatcher
myself, but
here,
it's faint.
yeah, my
you guys
dispatcher
can't
here
hear
is
me?
working. No, I can
We
No,
we
can
hear
hear
you.
can
you.
hear you, but we're getting echoes from the feedback from.
Oh well, let me see if I can turn my fan down. It's blistering here, so
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
Oh, I don't doubt it. I
This,
don't doubt it.
yeah, it's this
Whitmer
is
I
probably
really
is
wasn't too
not a
worried about the
place right
fan.
now.
I'm just hearing my voice.
Yeah,
Oh,
it's
okay.
the echo. Have you tried putting push to talk? That might help.
Yeah, that too.
Push to
Push
do
to
what to?
talk. Push to talk. You have to so that you have to press a certain button so that you can speak.
Oh, okay. Well, I'll give that a try to see if you guys are not getting an echo.
Oh no, you're good
Okay.
now. I hear you.
Mm.
Okay, maybe it was my fan. So, well, I'm going to be in and out because it's hot. So there may be
Okay.
times when I may have to tune that fan back up because we are
Mhm.
blistering. We just had terrible storms yesterday and a tornado. So I'm
Wow.
okay.
What
I'm.
state do you live in?
What was that, Eloise?
What state do you live in?
Michigan.
Whitmerville.
So yeah, Michigan. So even though I'm okay where I'm at, there were certain towns in Michigan counties that really that were suffered by a tornado. But I got where I lived, I got the heavy rain, wind, lightning, and
Sean!
then the next day the temperature blasted back up to like 95, 96. It'll be a heat wave
I
all this
had to
week.
do that when you mentioned heavy rain.
I figured you had to get it in somehow.
What
I was
what
gonna go
what
ahead,
major
Eloise.
what major city is in Michigan? Was it Chicago or another city? Like I'm trying.
Well, you've got Flint, you've got Detroit, you've got
Oh,
Flint,
okay,
you've got
okay.
Kalamazoo, you've got Ann Arbor. A lot of those, not Detroit, but you got Ann Arbor.
Land of Eminem.
Yes, yes, Ann Arbor, Armada, a little small county
Oh
outside of
yeah,
Macomb County.
land of Eminem and Madonna. Figure that one out.
Yeah, Pontiac. Yeah, you got that. You got that right. Trooper. The land got hit by a tornado, but where I lived in Warren, we got the heavy rain and the thunder and the lightning. But blessed be God, we did not get the tornado. But we had
Yeah,
some
yeah,
rough night last night.
yeah.
Very very rough.
I
That
got
explains a
a
little light rain last night.
yeah, I got a friend in Ohio who was saying it rained last night, and then a few days ago it tried raining in
Oh,
Nevada.
there's
All
a
it
lot
did was literally sprinkle and then
Yeah,
bring out all
sprinkled over
the
here
pollen.
too.
Literally
Hmm.
brought out all the pollen. So I've been having allergies for a week. It's been terrible. So that's where I'm at.
We got the heavy rain, but today, that was last night. That was Saturday. It did downpour like buckets, cats and dogs, buckets, whatever you want to call it. We got. But today, when the storm, we've got heat and humidity because it's only 80
Mm.
degrees. Today's high was 95. It only dropped down to 80, so it's still very hot and humid tonight. That's why I say I got to put this fan on because it's. I don't mind it warm. I love warm weather, but the humidity mixed in kind of makes it a little bit irritable. So, but
Yep.
but I don't mind the warm weather.
Say,
But
Trooper, you want to debunk a little climate change?
Now,
Yes, now. Or else I won't never get a chance to have you debunk it.
well, what did you want?
still don't
Like, what
understand.
about it?
but
I
before
said debunk it, fool.
before he does, can I make a quick He-Man comment and then we can
Go
go
ahead.
Oh
into
yeah, yeah,
okay.
yeah, yeah. I
Oh
mean, the
yeah,
whole
let's
point
get.
was let's talk about what you want to talk about, and then
You
we
ain't
can do
gonna
the other.
snake your way out of this one, man. We're still gonna
I
talk
don't
about
want to sit
climate
here and
change.
talk about freaking climate. Like, I really don't. So
I just wanted you to mention it briefly so the people in the back can hear it. But go ahead, Leia. This is your show for now.
Well,
You want to talk about the He-Man?
I was just going to say, since someone who remembers, even though I was older when the He-Man cartoons came out, and He-Man and She-Ra, and they were fun. I was a little older, but they were still fun shows. What I liked about He-Man, and this is no rat on Conan fans, but I kind of liked the fact that he wasn't Conan because he was strong and fierce and powerful, but he was someone you didn't have to be afraid of. He was someone that didn't use his mighty power to intimidate or bully. He used his mighty power to help those who are weak. And as you guys know, inspirational heroes are the heroes that I drift to. Those are the ones that I like. So I liked him. So now when I see, and I didn't have a problem with the 2000 He-Man either, but I fear now that it seems to me the quality of using your powers not to intimidate but to help is deemed a weakness in these heroes. But I think plain and simple, Kevin Smith did He-Man out of hatred. And like a lot of the videos on YouTube have been burning up by YouTube fans who, I know Andre Midnight's Edge, but I want to say, guys, you should have saw this coming. I mean, you should have saw this coming, but I think they probably just really believed it wasn't going to happen. But I believe Kevin Smith's He-Man was done out of hatred. I think that's the only reason why he did it. And it's really the transgender Tila show. But He-Man
You
to
up
me,
north, right, Leia?
yes, yes,
Up north, yeah.
yeah. So, I didn't bother to watch it because once I heard Kevin Smith's comments about what he was doing, I knew exactly what he was doing. But that was He-Man meant to me. That's how I saw him. And I liked that. I liked the fact that you didn't have to fear him if you needed his help. Now, Skeletor and all his minions.
Quick
yes,
aside, Leia.
Mm-hmm.
Joni. Wait, no. Suddenly's the Conan nut. Not you, right?
But I have no hate. I'm not hating on Conan fans. I'm not hating on anybody.
I'm just
So
joking.
don't-
I am.
okay.
I was gonna ask Joni, did you take umbrage when she mentioned that He-Man was not Conan?
Oh, not at all. But as you were probably about to say, it's Samuli who's the Conan fan between us two.
Yeah, but it was like I'm not asking the wrong person. Like, yeah, Samuel would have been the Conan. I should have asked him appropriately. Like, did that sting you a bit?
I hope it didn't, Joni. I didn't mean it as.
No. We're
Yeah.
talking about Samuel.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm the other Finn.
No,
Yeah.
yeah. Not all Finns look alike, Wolf.
I didn't say that. They sounded like those sometimes.
Everyone, we must be quiet. Neo Star is here, so Wolf, we must calm, and we have to let Wolf have his spotlight.
Trooper, you can join in too.
Yes.
Oh, for Riser Man?
Yes.
The brilliant star that shines through the night, the chill up the spine of evil. Rise, our man stands before you. Rise, our man. Rise, our man. Kadi ki hi kao. Rise, our man. Rise, our man. Hisha, hit, kick, pow.
Well, I was gonna say Riser Man. Riser
Mm.
Man does whatever a Riser can.
Hisha the go riser.
So
The best way to, but Joni, I hope I did. I'm not. I hope nobody. I'm not.
You
putting
didn't
anybody-
offend
You did nothing
nobody.
wrong.
because I know
That's just me being silly.
no,
you're
I
being
mean, you're, I
silly.
mean, you're keeping an eye on the pop culture barometer. I mean, we all kind of knew this was coming. I mean, Clownfish, more or less, kind of scooped it, and then it just kind of went around.
Been watching it from
for 2
afar.
years,
Yeah, they
and
did.
And then for about 2 years, we had to kind of literally endure the, oh, no, it's not. You're going to like it. No, it's not. You're going to like it. And we all know
Well,
where we're at in terms of Western culture and first world countries and the problem that they're having with their pop culture being turned into propagandized intersectionality, which is a nice word for saying socialism, which is a nice word for saying bigotry.
Mm, nice bigotry
I
or
mean,
polite bigotry.
At this point, it's only going to be maybe like kaiju films that may kind of like get by.
I'm a little worried.
Like,
I'm a little worried
so
on that front. You want to hear what I have to say about that? I'm hearing
Yeah,
Legendary
kaiju
getting
films.
bought. I'm hearing Legendary Films is getting bought out, and they're usually the ones that
Well,
be
I mean,
benchmarked for the
that's
kaiju
how it's
films.
going to go. I mean, and here's the thing: once you let crony capitalism more or less become your system of government, where corporations buy out other corporations, which buy out other corporations, it's inevitable, dude. It's only a matter of time. So, I mean, it all has the same conclusion. So, but for now,
Doesn't mean I have to like it.
You're right. He doesn't.
Hello?
He has to like it. Yes, Eloise.
Oh.
We can.
Sorry, it's just no, I was gonna say that crony capitalism is only possible because the government keeps getting them out of.
Yeah.
I don't know how to say it in English.
what it does is it
You know,
it
um, uh, hold up. I forgot what it's called. Like,
well basically
they're going out of business, and then the government gives them more funds in order for them to sustain themselves. And that's the only way growing capital is possible. That the government funds these people and stuff like that.
well, it's another way of saying too big to fail. Once you start bailing out certain corporations when they
Yeah,
become
bailing
too
out
big,
very.
yeah, yeah,
That's
yeah, yeah. Once you more or less start bailing out, certain companies time and time and time again, these companies then realize, hey, you know what? It's every time we do this, we're going to get bailed out. So it allows them to get bigger and bigger and bigger to the point where trying to bail out a company then becomes too expensive to not bail out. Because if you let them crash, guess what? It's almost like an entire sector falls apart. It's kind of like what's happening with some of these cell phone carriers too. I mean, they're getting into
What was that?
Oh my goodness, what was that? Oh,
Did Eloise just
uh,
get black bag?
it's probably on Al's end. Um, because
oh,
again,
I'm gonna say, Trooper, you okay
yeah,
over there?
she's using portable phones. So I mean, if it's like AC or anything like that, and the decibel's high enough, then the mic will pick it up. So
Yeah, no.
Yeah, like yeah.
I'm using like earbuds right now.
oh, nice, even
How
better.
Yeah,
how
you
does
sound better.
my
Your shirt on your mic. So
uh I don't hold
it
up.
doesn't.
Are you how does that sound?
Sounds
Much
a bit
better.
better.
Yeah, you sounds good.
Better.
Sounds a
Yes.
lot better actually.
All right. I'm just kind of afraid to breathe now because then I'm gonna be breathing on my mic.
And then all we're gonna hear is the big thump, and it'll be because Aloy's passed out from not breathing. So
Well, I
I
will
guess
say
I'm.
this: you can do no worse than Al when he breathes on his mic.
well, that's
Man, you know what I'm talking
and
about.
thinking about it, yeah, that's kind of true. Sorry, Al. So
He's like, I
I
like,
know we're being
Al, do I
terrible.
need to pull your string? You're not talking. Oh, that's just how I breathe.
That's fine.
I remember saying that usually. I was like, somebody pull Al's string. It sounds like he's sleeping.
Yep, yep, yep. But yeah, I mean that's kind of like what's happened. Like we've let these companies literally become so exponentially huge that at one point we're gonna run out of money to try to like keep bailing them out. So at one point do we decide, hey, some of these companies truly do need to kind of fall apart, or at one point do we break them up? And
Mhm.
and that's kind of where we're at in terms of a lot of this stuff right now. It's like some of these companies do need to be
But
broken up because some sectors.
um. Oh.
Got
Uh. No, I was gonna say the libertarian in me is like against like government involvement in like business. So I don't know. I just think government should just stop getting involved in business, and I think these companies should just collapse.
Uh,
yeah, in
the,
some portions,
yeah, yeah,
yeah, that would be true.
yeah.
Um,
Not
y-
Uh,
anarchy, tear the world down ish. Let's be careful about that.
yeah. One thing that comes to mind is I'm paraphrasing an episode of Babylon 5. There's a difference between what's right, what is good, and what is necessary.
mhm.
And
Oh,
that and what might be necessary, it's not good, it's not right, but but might be necessary to just start cutting up these huge monopolies into smaller pieces.
Yeah, yeah, and that's kind of where we're at because at one point we won't be able to financially like bail out these companies. Like we're literally going to end up having to borrow from other countries, which we already do at this point. Um, and that's kind of where we're at right now. I mean, we're seeing more spending now within these last 2 years, if you will, Like, and this is kind of where we're at, with the inflationary spending, where we're now kind of starting to see where all this gratuitous spending that's been going on for a bit now is now exponentially starting to show itself. That's not to say that it hasn't been bolstered by the spending that we're currently doing now, because all these bills that we're looking to ram through are just more and more dollars being funneled into another area, whether it be government entitlements versus more government programs, and we're still not cutting back on any of these other government programs. So yeah, no, I definitely understand as far as what is good, what is not good, and then what is necessary. Absolutely. And I mean, that's kind of why we're at where we're at. So, but in terms of He-Man in and of itself, yeah, that's why you're seeing this kind of stuff literally kind of, I hate using the word manifest because it gets overused, but it's why you're starting to see this quote manifestation of pop culture, because literally they're chasing the dollars. That's where it's at. So. Yeah, I saw that earlier.
I'm
That
picking up
was
a
Wolf.
late. What you gonna say, Leia?
No, I said Wolf. That Victoria. That was Wolf Commander, because that was Wolf Commander. I'm sure Wolf did it out of love.
It's always out of love.
Yes,
Right.
It's nothing but I tell you, it's nothing but love. Y'all know. Look, I'm only saying it because it's true. Like once you get dead air on Al's streams when he does the rewatches, you just hear this. I'm like, oh goodness, Al, stop
No, that's
breathing like
terrible.
that. People might, like, any newcomer might think
Wait,
you're sleeping.
Al has a channel?
Yes, he has a channel.
Oh, that's new.
I don't even watch him, and I even know that. Like,
Hey,
Sorry, Al.
I did one rewatch with him, and I'm like Al, you doing okay? Oh yeah, I'm doing okay.
Well, okay, because I know Matchstick has one. I know
Mhm.
Fan
Al
Man
been had one.
I'm just listing off all the people that I know within our
Bacon.
community group. Like, you got Fan Man, you got Professor.
Yeah, a lot of
you
people
got
call him Darth Al. 'Cause of that.
Troy. Al's just one I didn't go for. So
What'd you say, Trooper?
well, Al's like the one channel I didn't know of. Like I know of
Oh, I'm
like
surprised that
additional
Trooper.
channels, but it's. I know. I feel so.
Well, he's been having this channel since last year, actually.
Oh, okay.
He's done the Films with Friends stuff on his channel, and he does film
Oh, well,
reviews.
that's why. That's why.
And sometimes Troy is there with him. I think I've been on a few, or he may have been over at Troy's channel where they did some film watches, particularly around Halloween, because they did some Halloween classics that I like. So I would come to the
That's how they started,
rewatches.
actually.
And, yeah, I said, well, they're doing some movies I like, so I would join in.
And I was there
to
for
the
King Kong
rewatches.
versus Godzilla with him. It's a fun little stream we had, sharing our kaiju knowledge from one kaiju fan to another.
Well, I have another little topic. I don't know if Commander wants to speak on it. If anybody wants to speak briefly on it, anyone has any thoughts on Michael B. Jordan's Black Superman? I think Warner Brothers has 3 or 4.
I think that's gonna be a mess. Because everybody is used to one particular image of Superman, so like getting them to be convinced about the other image is gonna be is gonna contradict, and people are gonna have trouble adapting to that change.
Or they're never going to adapt at all.
Eloise, go ahead, Joni.
The only thing good thing I heard, I think it was Clownfish TV or one of the other channels had that it's gonna be about Val Zed or some character.
No, they're not going to do that.
Yeah, I'm sure it's gonna be like that. They're not gonna do it, but in the vain hope that it is. But yeah, I have zero faith in the movie.
Same. I don't trust it. Like, I'm
Look,
sorry.
if they want to do a remake of something, they should remake Meteor Man.
Yeah.
Or Steel.
Or just do an original black character that DC Comics has. I don't understand. Maybe I do understand. They don't want to do original black characters like
Icon.
the Black Lantern. I mean the Black Lantern. the
John
Green
Stewart.
Lantern. That's John Stewart. That would be a great picture. I could see Michael B. Jordan being Stewart. But Black Lightning, Steel, as you said, Artificial Joni. I mean, come on, please, you guys. They cannot
Icon.
actually believe that Shaquille O'Neal Steel was a classic. Oh, come on now. They've got to do. They've
It's
got
a
to
classic
do
for something, definitely. But yeah,
not his acting.
no, no.
Wait, is Michael B. Jordan gonna be directing this?
No, Tony Shitty Coates will be, or
Oh.
J.J. Abrams.
Oh, so
Yeah.
he's gonna be the actor then, Michael B. Jordan.
Yes.
I don't know, man.
Mind you, Eloise, Michael B. Jordan. We're still pinned on whether he's subjected himself to the woke train.
Right.
I think it's possible because, like, I mean, well, damn, I'm gonna,
He's voiced his
Go ahead, speak your mind, Eloise. Go ahead.
Sorry.
oh, it's because like we went to the same high school, so that's kind of weird. Like, I don't know him personally. Like when I was entering freshman year, I think he was leaving already. So, but like we went to the same high school, so I think maybe I have a general understanding on how his outlook is. I don't know. I think, like, you know, the type of talent that my high school produced, I think on one hand people are sane, but on the other hand they're too optimistic to the point that they kind of miss the point of sanity. Yeah, let's go with that. Like, I think it's optimism that kind of blinds people, like at least the talent that my school produces.
Well, you know what, Eloise, I believe you, but wokeism is like invasion of the body snatchers. You know, it's people. Then when they're before they go to Hollywood, they have common sense, intelligence, and they know what they want to do. But when they get to Hollywood and the woke pods get to them, I mean, that's the only analogy I can think of. Or I think of this episode of Star Trek Next Generation called The Game, where Wesley Crusher is the only one that doesn't be affected by this game. But it's like invasion. The wokeism is like invasion of the body snatchers. They're normal, but then while they sleep at night, the woke pods get to them, and then the next morning, the next day, you see them, and they've changed, just like invasion of the body snatchers. I know in the Nicole Kidman remake, one of the signs of that you've been infected by the body snatchers is no lack of emotion. And then when people become woke and they become infected, one thing is they stop having fun. They don't want to have fun anymore. Their movies are no longer fun anymore. Their personality starts to change greatly. And we've seen this now. I always joke that, Jesus Christ, his name is slipping my mind that quickly. Anthony Mackie at one time sounded like a decent guy with his head on his shoulders.
I was about to bring him up.
Yeah,
I was about to bring him up when concerned Jordan.
Yes. So I think Wolf has a good point there. But now Mackie has been infected by the woke snatchers. He's now been infected by them. And they become, they start off normal. But now when they go to Hollywood, the woke snatchers come to get them. That's how I look at it.
For now, like I said, back to Jordan real quick.
Go ahead.
I'm saying he's pending for now because originally, I say that because originally Mackie was pending, and I was giving him the benefit of the doubt, but we saw how quickly he folded.
Yes, I was giving Mac. I was like you, Wolf. So, Eloise, I believe you. I believe what you're saying because I've seen this with many actors that I've loved. And then now the woke snatchers have gotten to them. And I think with Jordan, I'm agree with Wolf. We have to keep an eye out on him because here's my thing. And this is the same way I feel. This is what I said about Black Captain America. I said, there is only one Captain America. That is Steve Rogers, period. There is only one Superman. That is Kal-El, Clark Kent, period. There is no need of any kind of whatsoever to give a black version. I see that as a downgrade. I find it insulting, giving us secondhand seconds. I think it's insulting that we have to take from a validated white hero and make a black version of it in order for us to feel good about ourselves or something.
Mm-hmm.
Like we can't create our own characters, or like you brought out, Wolf, other characters that they could be doing. I mean, did the box office for Black Panther not tell them you can do? I mean, I give T'Challa a pass because he's an original black character. T'Challa is not a black version of someone established, you know? So
Mm-hmm.
why are they not still doing that? What is the need to do a black Superman except basically to piss off fans?
Sadly, Leia, like I said, they didn't even do Black Panther right on its own, and it was done by a black dude.
I agree with you
So,
on that, Wolf. I was reading
so
Bacon.
that kind of tells you something right there. like
Yes.
even when we did have a black dude directing, had an all black cast, they still didn't even do it right, because that's not Black Panther. That's not, in fact, that's not even Wakanda. That's somebody else's visualized version of Wakanda, not the Wakanda that we're used to seeing in the comics, which is a nation, not a series of tribes at all. It's a nation, a kingdom, if you will, not a kingdom full of tribes. It's a whole fortress. You know what I'm saying? Like, everybody who lives in Wakanda is the body and bones of Wakanda. So Ryan Coogler didn't even do that right. He saw Africa as a nation of tribesmen and tribes, and he failed to see that there was also kingdoms there too. I'm like, did you even go to Africa yourself?
No, he
You know,
probably didn't.
and sadly, I don't even think he filmed it in Africa either. So there's that, which is interesting. Which will be interesting to hear if that was the case. But yeah. Just for those who are not familiar with Black Panther, yeah, that was not the Black Panther that we got, the true Black Panther that we got in that movie that that we finally got, even though we were waiting for it for a long time, a very long time, especially when Wesley Snipes was originally the candidate for T'Challa, but
Yeah.
now that I'm like looking back at it again, I'm like, that, like, I agree with Dan Herron, like that wasn't Black Panther, but I would take it, but I said I agree with Dan Herron, but if I was there with him, I said I'd take it even a step further. That wasn't even Wakanda. Now that I look back at it, that was not even Wakanda. Wakanda's not a nation of tribesmen. Wakanda is a kingdom. You born in Wakanda, you are a Wakanda. You are in a kingdom.
Yeah,
Okay.
but
Now,
they're showing a pop culture version of what they think tribalization should look like.
yep. Because black folk are considered indigenous people too, apparently.
Well, they want you to tribalize. That's what they want you to do. I mean,
Yeah.
let's not
And
mess around.
when you go back enough, I think everybody is. Well, I'm trying to remember what I was gonna say. I mean, when you go back enough, everybody is indigenous. I mean, we're all born here, so like we're
Yeah,
native
to an
to.
extent, yeah, absolutely, to
Yeah.
an extent.
Mhm.
But then you have to look at like the regions and stuff like that also, and then you kind of get a little bit more of a like a
Eloise
big
says we're
picture
all
of like,
mutts. That's
not
what
me.
that's for the people in the
So
back. Yes, you are mutt.
but I was gonna say, no, like you get a bigger picture of like the how the demographics have kind of moved around and how sometimes they're being forcibly moved into one area versus another. So, and then you kind of get the why certain things are happening in the way they are happening right now. So, sort of like sort of like what you're seeing right now. It's like immigration has always been a thing. That's given the nature of where we're at. I mean, we have what, Canada, and then we have Latin America. That's it. So then you have to ask yourself, so how are these people who are coming from overseas with really nice shoes just walking across the border? And then you come to realize literally like that's an industry in and of itself. So like, you know, you just it's literally money changing hands at that point. So it kind of gives you like an idea of where we're going to be in the next few years as we start to deal with these issues as they become
Anybody
bigger.
raining on their end? Because I got rain on my end.
So,
No,
uh,
tonight's a clear night. Tonight, where I'm at. Last night, I didn't even get on because it was lightning so bad. But tonight, the skies are clear. It's just hot and humid.
It rained today in
for me,
the
it's been
morning for me.
cloudy.
Yeah,
Yeah,
tonight it's
like my
clear.
connection went down around
Mine's
same
raining, and I'm saying,
time as
hell,
yours.
it's
So
about time.
Yeah, where I'm like, I was like you, Trooper. My connection went down because the lightning and the wind was so strong, and it was raining so hard. I had to. But tonight, it is clear and quiet, and I am kind of glad. It's just hot. It's
It's
just
just
very humid.
hot. It's hot,
Yeah.
hot, hot.
It is.
yeah,
It's still 80 degrees. It was 95, but now where I'm at. It's 10:30 p.m. where I'm at. It is still 80 degrees. So we've only dropped 5 degrees.
Right
So
here,
it's
right
still
heels,
hot.
right on, right on, right on.
And back to the first of all, Bacon. If you're listening, if you're still here, I saw your comment and I agree 100%. Smart comment. Um, I've seen a lot of people as they've seen
Um,
um
Hey,
Black
Dominic.
Panther, they all say the same thing about it, which is why I think it is not just because of the tragic death of Boseman, excuse me, the tragedy of his death, but I just think right now I honestly think they're stuck, and and they're stuck on how to do Black Panther 2 because I think it's kind of like you said, Commander, they weren't totally true to the character and to the world of T'Challa. So I
Mm.
think they're also stuck writing wise. And with Ryan Coogler, I
They
agree with
even,
you.
what really pissed me off the most was the fact that they mentioned Bass, but they didn't go full on bringing in Bass when literally in Doctor Strange we got to see Dormammu in almost his full glory. In Guardians 2, we get to see Ego, the living planet. But you mean to tell me in a movie about a man who gets his powers from a freaking panther god just by inhaling some incense, you mean to tell me you couldn't you paid money for CGI rhinos, you know, but you trying to tell me you couldn't animate a big ass panther? I would
I
have got the Y'all heard my rewrite already. I'm not going to reiterate, but I will say this. I want I'm
hmm,
I guarantee you, if I was him in this movie, you would have seen a giant Black Panther. Okay,
mhm.
okay.
I was hoping to see Bass when they showed the statue of Bass in Civil War and
That was what I'm about to say. I think
Oh,
that
that
was
was
your
all you
launch.
were gonna get.
That was all you're gonna get, Commander. That was it right there.
like that statue was. I'm like bruh, that big old Black Panther. I'm like, dude, if that was Bass, that's all I'm gonna get.
Yeah,
Okay,
that's all you're gonna get.
that's all I'm gonna get. Okay,
It's Disney, bro. It's Disney. They only give you a little bit.
but we can't demand anything from them, huh? Okay.
No, you can't.
I rest my case. I rest my case. Sorry, yeah, sons of bitches.
Uh, let me put it to you this way. So,
Look, I see a person with a Disney logo written all over his face. I'd be like Sister Odell. Here come that sorry ass motherfucker right
I'll
now.
put it to you this way. So, this was a while ago. Me and a female friend. We went on. We went to what was it? I think we went. Yeah, we went to Knott's. I don't know why we went to Knott's.
Yeah,
I
why
think
would
it
you
was
go to
because it was
Knott's?
so boring. I think it was because the Knott's is so boring. You can do whatever you want. They don't care. So we went on the log ride, and I know you've been to Knott's Berry Farm. So we went on the log ride, right? And you kind of it goes around a little bit and slowly starts going up in elevation, and you don't really notice it. And then you get to a big down point where it goes down, right?
Mhm.
And as it goes down, there's like a camera. There's like a camera to more or less take your reaction so that they can monetize it and make you pay $30 for a photo of you
Mhm.
looking like an idiot. So, me knowing this, I was actually sitting behind my friend when we went down, and I did not hold on to. Uh, I did not hold on to any rails or anything like that when we went down. What I did was I held on to my female friend because she has some good handrails. So, we get off the ride or whatnot, and I'm like, I want my photo. And they refused to print it out because they said it was not child appropriate.
What?
So it's the same thing with Disney. You only get what they give you, and that's it. Well, because what I was gonna do is I was gonna just wrap it up and give it to her for Christmas, so I could get slapped. But
Oh God, Trooper, how romantic!
And they say I'm bad.
Yeah, how romantic.
hey, I'm thoughtful. I'm very thoughtful.
I see.
Yeah. So
And they say I'm bad.
well,
Joni, this is what this put your hang on, just a quick aside. Joni, this is what you've been missing this whole time while you've been away.
yep.
Ever since I
Uh,
got Trooper on here. This is what you've been missing. I hope you've been watching the back watches.
a few, but I've been really tired for some reason last
Amen,
few
bro.
months.
I hear that. I've
Have you
been
been
Yeah.
taking your supplements? Have you been taking? That's the only way I could do it. When I was working overnight, literally the only thing that was keeping me going was eating healthy and vitamins. That was it.
Mhm.
I've actually shifted to morning shift, so that's another thing that might have been causing my lack of energy. My I have to like change my entire life schedule, so uh, there's a period of adjustment. So
Oh
the
yeah,
only
yeah, yeah.
reason
Like
I
once
That
you
can happen. Yeah, that
yeah
can happen.
yeah so it's also been
well,
like mental exhaustion of well
yeah, it
everything.
is.
So
It is. It is because once you go to working overnight to early morning, it's you literally end up changing your whole like life around it, and then you end up you end up upending your circadian rhythm to the point where you're no longer functioning the way other people function, and so going back to a regular lifestyle of waking up in the morning, going to sleep at night, it's very difficult because your body is no longer used to uh going along with that circadian rhythm. Literally, you're working against it. So it can take a while. For me, I
mm,
can tell you that after doing it, I've never been able to go back to just a regular schedule. It's so hard for me now. So, and honestly, the only way to kind of get around that is maybe like a little bit of melatonin. Sometimes that helps. Sometimes drinking water helps a lot more than you would think. But
mm,
like for people like me, once you've been doing it for so long, the only way around it is literally almost like preparing yourself to go to sleep at a certain time, and then preparing yourself to wake up at a certain time, and hopefully your body kind of catches up and readjusts itself. So, but yeah, no, I feel
yeah,
you. I feel you because there are times where I'm wide awake in the middle of the night when I should be asleep because that's what it used to be like when I had to actually, when I actually had to do that job. So.
Is it normal for people to lose a lot of weight like when they're doing night shifts and stuff like that?
I
It depends.
Oh, it's because like my mom, she started working night
Um,
shifts and stuff like that, and she's
if it's
been losing weight. I'm kind of worried about her, so yeah.
well, it could be a loss of appetite too, because that'll tend to happen also as you're stressed. Well, it depends. Some people handle stress better than others. So some people, stress will manifest as loss of appetite. With some, it'll actually be an increased appetite. So just to kind of give you an example, uh,
take it away,
I
Leia after Trooper, because I know you want to say something too on that regard. Keep
well,
going, Trooper.
I was gonna say more or less. Well, I was gonna say more or less. one of the few things that for me has been in terms of trying to keep my eating habits under control is I tend to be more along the lines of it.
I just was going to ask, Joni, you're on a different
My brain
shift
break out
now.
into
Oh yeah, morning
things.
shift.
You're on the
So
morning shift. Oh, I see. Okay. Because I've only met up with you for just a few times. Yeah, it's probably going to take time for your body to adjust
mm,
to the morning shift. But which do you prefer? Do you prefer a midnight shift or a morning shift? My parents worked midnights all their lives, but they preferred it. My mother preferred it because it allowed her to get us ready for school in the morning, and she just slept after we went to school and then woke up when we came home. So
uh, well, I'm so used to the evening and night shift that uh, it became my normal, and it enabled me to uh, well join you guys. I've been checking some streams over at Twitch. So I gotten some friends over there, but uh, in a way, it's nice to have this morning shift. But half of me says that go back to the evening shift. You're used to that.
I understand. I
Yeah.
see. I understand. Um, I was going to say, just to shift back a little bit to the Black Panther discussion. I was going to say that first of all, I think these Superman movies are going to flop miserably because, like Wolf said, Tahihi Coates is writing them, and I just have no respect for that man at all. Not
To
just because of what he did to Steve Rogers, but just his overall as a human being. I think he's despicable. I'm just going to say that. Got no shame saying that. And I think the reason they're bringing him on these Superman projects is to destroy him. They're hiring to just to destroy the character, just like he destroyed Steve Rogers. Now DC wants to destroy Superman. They want to get rid of these aspirational heroes, and they're bringing in these people who hate to destroy them. Because you would think, why would Marvel bring in a man that hates Steve Rogers to write for Steve Rogers to destroy the character? And that's what he's
Well, they've already
done.
done that.
I
Mhm.
I
know.
mean, they've already done that. I mean, they finally moved to He-Man, and He-Man was not the greatest of franchises. I mean, they're going down the line. So,
Superman is
I mean,
next.
we're now at what,
He
B,
freaking
maybe
ruined
C
Black
list
Panther too.
franchises
Let's
at
not
this
forget
point.
that.
Oh, you're right, Commander.
You
Yes,
know,
I agree with that. He did, and
you know,
now he's setting his sights.
let's say they reboot the Care Bears. They're going to be a little bunch of
Mhm.
communists. So, I mean, I know what you're saying.
Exactly. So now, DC fans out there, if you're listening, he's coming for you. So he's coming for Superman. So get prepared, not to get anything good. I don't see
We're
anything
coming
good.
for your Superman.
Yeah.
We're coming for your Superman.
Yeah.
They're coming for
um
your children. So,
Mhm.
yes.
Yes,
We're coming for your children.
you
We're
about to get
coming
it.
for your children.
You're about to get it, DC fans. And I'm not so confident. Maybe you guys can have me. I'm not confident with this Flashpoint movie. I'm not. I have no excitement because I feel this Flashpoint movie, from what I've been reading and hearing, it sounds like Warner Brothers saying we have no idea what to do, but we'll just throw everything on the wall and splat it together. And if it makes money, it worked. But I have no confidence in
Well,
this Flashpoint movie whatsoever. Some people are excited about it, and
well,
if you are excited about it out there, no hate. I'm just talking for
Good for
myself.
you.
Yeah, good for
uh,
you. And I
well,
they
you
really,
got to
they
get
really,
into the
changed
habit of.
um oh
Uh,
no,
Got
I was gonna say I saw like some of the leaks or something like that they changed the appearance of Supergirl in that film. I think the
yeah.
Yes,
yeah,
for
for the
Supergirl
Flash.
in there.
And they changed her too. She's Latino now.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, they
Oh,
it's a
that's
given
what that. Oh,
that
that's
they
what that's supposed
messed
to
up.
be.
It's a given that it's gone then. like like I mean, what was I gonna say? No, I was just gonna say about the um whatchamacallit. No, at first I thought that for the Superman film, like at first I thought it was Jordan directing it because I remember that he was pushing to direct something, but I can't remember what it was. But if it's Tani Hisako's directing it, then yeah, it's a given that it's gone. It's dead. It's dead on arrival. Basically, that's all I was gonna say.
I totally agree with you. And like I said, DC fans, unless you guys revolt and stand up and revolt by not giving them a dime, they are coming for you. I mean, if you excited about it, I really hope you get your money's worth. I really do. But if not, I'm telling you right now, don't give them the time of day because the writing is on the wall.
Oh, I'm definitely gonna ride if they make a black Popeye.
Because I don't understand. Henry Cavill should be their golden ticket over there. They don't want to do anything with Henry Cavill. That's the Superman everybody seems to love, and they just kicked him to the side. So I
He
don't
ain't
know. I
worried about that
guess
no more. He got the Witcher right now. The Witcher is supplementing him for now. I don't
I'm
know
worried about the. I'm worried about the Witcher, Wolfman. I've heard some things that give me a great disturbance in the Force. I've heard some things about the Witcher that
yeah.
I'm not confident
Season
about.
2 trailer looks good, but I've not been that impressed with season 1 overall.
Me
I don't.
neither.
Yeah. I was gonna ask your opinion about that, Yoni.
Yeah, well, I only read one of the Witcher books, the ones that was an anthology, but yeah, it wasn't. It had the typical Hollywood inclusion and diversity that
Mm-hmm.
gets so also
Fucking
tiresome. That
Triss was a black woman.
Oh yeah, I didn't
yeah,
like
yeah,
that at all.
yeah, of course, yeah, and uh,
You know what sucks about
uh,
that? She wasn't even that attractive black woman either. Oh, you couldn't have picked a far more attractive woman than this broad?
They never choose like the attractive people to play the characters that they swap, and it's kind of sad. Like
mm, and a point
I mean,
from
Bill
earlier
looks.
about the uh, uh, point of the aspirational heroes thing, that two quotes come to mind. One from Babylon 5: worse than death of flesh is the death of hope and the death of spirit. And another comes from Never-Ending Story about how there's a point where the character talks with a wolf thing,
Yes.
and the wolf thing that the land is dying because people's dreams are dying, and the dreams are being killed because hopeless people are easier to control.
Hmm.
Yeah, they're like speaking of Dead Story, they're like Atracio's horse that sank in the mud. That's the part
Atreyu.
everybody Atreus, excuse thank you. Atreus
Attacks!
well that got everybody in tears, even me. Because he was so desperately trying the horse just because the horse gave up. The horse just giggly gave up. And that was I think that was the point of that mire, that if you had no hope, you would sink to the bottom. And the horse was
Truth be
giving up.
told,
Yes, and that's what's
truth,
going on right now.
truth be
And I ain't
told,
sick.
the swamp of sadness, I think that was meant to be inescapable unless you had help. And
You,
in my the way I saw it,
how
the
did you?
because the moment he was pressing on and on throughout that swamp, it seems like the swamp could go on forever. It's really as you're walking through that, because you're not going to sink if you lose hope, right?
Right.
But the more you're going through it and you're struggling to trudge through that swamp, and it seems like it's going on and on and on forever. That's where your will starts to get broken, unless somebody aids you in it. Like if you have to go with a group to get through that. If anything, if there's ever a way to get through that swamp on land, because I know you can get over it through air, which Falcor pretty much proves that. But like
Mm-hmm.
if you're uh, props to the camera work for Atreyu trudging through that swamp too, because it really shows that he was very alone. It really showed how long he's been walking through that swamp. It really puts you in his shoes in that very moment as you're trudging through that swamp. You can feel his fatigue. You can feel his desperation. you can feel his depression starting to set in. You know, you can see his will just slowly just
Hmm.
break down as you're walking through as you're watching, you're figuratively walking with him through that swamp. And not only that, you know, the fact that he just recently lost his friend to the swamp, that's still hanging on his mind. Remember that. So that could be also breaking him down too. He even brought that up to the childlike princess empress.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I
He
remember.
should have said, "I lost my horse." You know what I'm saying? Like
Yes.
he like that really hammers home how good of a friend he is to Artax, and how good of a loyal friend Artax is to Trail. He still remembers that he lost his friend Artax. You know,
Yes.
he
Hmm.
he he
I
lamented
did.
he lamented over his journey so far, to the point even when he got to the child like Empress, he finally made it. You know, she's doing just fine right now, but like at this point the nothing's already just like eating up everything, and the last bastion of life left is the ivory tower. But back to the swamp thing, I was like I from my point of view, from where I saw it, I'm like, bro, I don't think nobody has ever survived this swamp on foot, at least.
Hmm.
Good point. That's a good point, Media. Joni, how do you see the
Swamp of
swamp?
sadness.
The swamp of sadness. Is that similar to you, or what's your take on it?
It's been so long that since I've seen the Neverending
Okay.
Story, and I only brought it up because I happened to see a clip of it. Which
But I think it's a good point that you make. That
Mhm.
that's a good analogy to use. But I'm sorry, but go ahead.
No, I was pretty much done for now.
Okay. Well, first of all, that's a good analogy that you brought up because it got me to thinking. You brought up the fact that the reason the kingdom, and correct me if I'm wrong. I'm quoting you. Uh, that the reason it was so you said something, and I hope I'm corrected, that when people have no hope, they are easy to destroy, and maybe that's similar to what is going on right now with Hollywood eating up all these properties that we love, especially aspirational heroes.
I
Because
want to I
aspirational
want
heroes for me, um,
I want to touch up on where
Um,
that's leading to, or what it's been perpetuated by.
it's I just wanted to say that all of that is just, to me, it just seems like social engineering to get people to give up hope. And
It's learned. It's all learned and taught.
yeah, yeah, because like, I look at, people that are educated. I feel like they seem less hopeful than the people who aren't, like, people who haven't made it to higher education. They seem more hopeful than the people who have made it there. That's what I've been observing. Like,
It's a good
because
observation. I'm not gonna say no. I'm not gonna say no
yeah,
because there's a very astute observation. So.
Hmm.
because like my mom, she never made it to high school. Like, she never made it to a certain point in high school. My dad never made it either, and both of them seem very optimistic, even though sometimes they have their down points. But they always bounce back. They have this optimism, and
right.
sometimes, because I know more than them, it's like harder for me to continue being optimistic, but I try to emulate that optimism. That whole idea of the American dream and all of that, that's still, I still, somewhere deep down, I still believe in that, and that's something that I hold on to, like, tirelessly. Like, I feel the need, I feel compelled to still hold on to that, because to me that's my hope. Like, I don't know if it's making any sense, but that's how I feel inside. Like, I can't give up. I can't give up here. I can't give up. I need to continue
Perseverance.
forward. Yeah, that's what I keep telling myself. Because
That's
it's getting difficult. The more time that passes on, it gets difficult, but I'm still trying because I don't want to become that bitter person that, that everybody else seems to be becoming. Like,
Good point. That what Eloise is saying is true. And I was just about to ask you why you think that's more difficult. But I think that's what the left or Hollywood woke whatever, that's what they want you to do. They want you to give up because they have given up. So they want you to come join their club. So they want to instill it in you because they've given up for themselves and want to blame everything else. So they want to pass it off on you. And that's why a lot of and I could be wrong, but I feel that's why they're killing or sacrificing a lot of aspirational heroes.
Oh no. Freaking
Okay, Schooner. Well, here's my thing about
You said
all that
Scooney's
stuff.
here.
No, I'm talking about you.
Me?
Yeah, no. Here's the thing.
y'all guys
Here's the
want to
thing.
hear
When it
some
comes,
y'all guys want to hear something stupid?
no.
Sure.
Yeah.
Go ahead, and then Trooper can
The
continue
keys
his
in the
point.
sentence. The keys in the sentence. No, I want to hear something that's enlightening.
From Kellogg's, Booker T. Watley's clientele membership clubs connected communities to the real seasonal, local grown food while ensuring the economic stability of family owned black farms. Black history hashtag Black History every month. Hashtag cultivate food justice.
they don't understand Booker T at all. They never understood him, man. It's all WB Du Bois stuff, and nobody understands Booker T. Like, I'm just tired of people like bringing up Booker T, but they never understand the guy. Like, they don't listen. They
They
just
bring
all
up
they
all
do.
kind of historical
See, Eloise is
figures,
my girl. She
Eloise.
gets it. She absolutely gets it. Although she's a little bit on the optimistic side. Me, not so much.
Well,
But
you're
like,
Batman.
everybody, like all the it's all WB the voice logic that a bunch of these people follow, and nobody like understands Booker T. I don't think they're ever gonna understand. It's you know, the reason why this topic in particular bugs me because like I literally took a history class where they went in depth into the Booker T way of thinking and then the WB the voice way of thinking, and I think what happened was everybody thinks along the lines of WB Du Bois, and WB Du Bois, like, he he left, he gave up. And Booker T, like,
Hmm.
to his very last breath, he continued on, like, he held on till the very end, like, I don't know if this is making any sense to you guys, but I'm
You're
sorry,
making
that just,
complete
Me.
sense. So
the
don't worry.
Kellogg's thing just bugged me, like, I
You're
don't
making
know,
sense
like,
because I literally had to go. So,
Now, Trooper, what were you saying before? What were you saying to me before?
um,
Go ahead. Go ahead.
I was saying, and well, well, saying, and it goes with sort of Dominic's comment when he was saying we can't lose hope as a losers. Um, I tend to kind of look at things in terms of real, a realist standpoint as this is where we are. Um,
I see what you're saying. I
Historically,
see
what
what you're saying.
trends have we followed to get here? A video, a video Dave did on his bit shoot, where I'm gonna kind of quote him a little bit, where the analogy he uses is in order to get to a city, you have to kind
We might be losing Trooper a little bit.
of be,
He's dealing with some connection issues on his end.
Yeah, I understand. Yeah.
yeah,
So yeah, that you might have to
yeah.
type
So, like
everything
from a social
on
perspective,
MeWe, dude.
Well, what I was going to say from a social perspective, if you look at what's happening in terms of pop culture, you kind of see where we're going.
Mhm.
And everyone is kind of full steam ahead. There's really no, once the snowball starts to roll in a particular direction, undoing that is pretty difficult. So,
We didn't hear anything you said, dude. Majority of what you were talking about. I don't think anybody heard him clearly. Anybody? I didn't hear him.
Nah, nope.
I didn't hear all of it, but I got an idea of what he's saying. I didn't hear all of it, but I got a kind of an idea of what he's talking about. Yeah, and actually, I agree with Paul and I agree with Eloise that the people now don't understand Booker T. Washington. They see the words, they just don't know what they mean.
Well, they were talking about Booker T. Watley, so I don't know who the hell that is.
Oh, they weren't talking about Booker T. Washington?
Mm-mm.
It was
Booker T.
Oh,
Washington. I was talking about
oh,
Washington.
oh,
Booker
But
T.
you
okay.
made,
All right.
Washington.
but you,
Hello?
but you, but you made your point clear, Eloise. Definitely, Booker T. Washington is one of the most innovative black men to ever grace this land. To really sow the seeds to what black people can achieve. Aside from Frederick Douglass himself, who pushed that envelope further as he could, and left it for any new generation to keep continuing to push that envelope. Yes, but
And George Washington Carver too as well. Like
definitely him. Definitely him. We'll never forget George Washington Carver. That man's a blessing amongst many of black folks. And you know the sad part about this, Eloise, and this goes for everybody, both colors of the rainbow, white, black, yellow, whatever, orange, green, even. I hear they got blue skin people out there too, and purple
Yeah,
skin.
yeah.
Apparently now we got purple skin people. Okay, okay. I represent my purple skin brothers too and sisters, but they're trying to do away with very famous black heroes and worshiping false prophets. They're trying to force you to worship false prophets and snake oil salesmen at this point. I would I defy you to find anybody who will say Booker who,
Yeah.
and that to be true, to be completely true. Like do you know who Booker T. Washington is? And somebody say Booker who? Do you know who Frederick Douglass is? Frederick who? Do you know anybody by the name of George Washington Carver? Who is he? You know what I'm saying? At this
Mm-hmm.
point, but they,
Oh,
they
I
know
agree.
they know a lot about Ta-Nehisi Coates. They know about the broad who wrote the 1619 project. They know about white fragility and Robert DiAngelo with her nuts on this. But I defy you to find anybody who's willing to tell you about General Colin Powell. I don't know where he at this point or where his mind at, but I respect the man too in that regard. You know, being one of our top generals and all that, or even say before that we had shit, drawing a blank right now. Y'all help me out here.
Who do you want me to mention? There's quite a few that people don't get.
Not the usuals that we like to mention a lot, like X and Dr. King. We
Right,
still
right.
love we still love Brother Malcolm. We still love Reverend Dr. King. Don't worry. But everybody keep bringing them up so many times. I'm like every time I hear them, that really tells me like even if you're one, even if you are the conservative or the good minded and well thoughtful people that like to think that ain't with this whole woke nonsense and CRT. I'm like, whenever time I hear somebody mention just Martin Luther King and Malcolm X and all that stuff and Rosa Parks, I'm like, bruh, you're not that deep. You're not that hip deep in Black history. You're not completely deep in that Black history if you keep just mentioning those guys all the time. I just named you how many Black folk that made an influence in history before I even got to Reverend Doctor Reverend Dr. King and Brother Malcolm. And that's another thing. Y'all, they need to say their names correctly. They need to say their names with a bit more respect. Y'all always talking about, y'all always saying Martin Luther King and nah. It's Brother Malcolm, okay, and it's Reverend Dr. King. Okay, come on, say their titles right. Okay, thank you. But no, I'm like you know they want you to forget all your heroes. Pretty soon, Finland might imitate America, and I fear for you, Johnny, if they even start imitating America, because they might make you forget your folklore. And they
Yeah,
and then
yeah.
they're talking about something. Oh, we forgot where you came from. You forgot. You let somebody lead you astray from where you came from, not us. You
Mm,
gonna accuse me? You gonna accuse me of forgetting where I come from, bro? I know where I came from. I know where I came from, and I live it proudly. I respect it proudly. I know our black legacy. Do you? Because from what I'm hearing, all throughout those classrooms, they're telling you, or at least in some to some effect, they're saying your black civil rights leaders failed you, and they're pushing you to be the next Reverend Dr. King, or the next brother Malcolm, because a lot you hear some of these CTR black folk, right?
Hmm.
They're talking about, oh, this person's the next Malcolm X, or this black woman's the next MLK. I'm like, no, no, they will not be. And even if they do lead the pack to a brighter future, and call themselves the next Martin Luther King, I'm gonna tell them you are not the next Martin Luther King. Even if you did do good, do right by our people, you cannot you cannot call yourself that. That will be arrogance and egotistical of you to even do that. You may have learned from them, but you will not be the next them. Okay, you need to be the next you.
I
All right.
have to go. Um,
I think we all
oh,
need to go anyways.
Yeah, we're about to.
it's
It's
Yes.
getting late.
11:06 over here.
Yeah, we
Yeah,
need to go.
yes. So am I. Yeah. So
Anybody want to have any more closing thoughts too before you head out and sign out?
well, is well, any closing thoughts? No, not really. We could think about. I know we discussed this, but at some point or any time, it's totally up to you. Well, if I was going to bring up the Dune trailer, we could
I
talk
was
about
about to
this.
do that earlier, but you guys were talking about some good topics. I was like, yeah, I'll save it for
Sure.
next time. Yeah,
Alrighty.
Yeah,
Alrighty.
I don't know how long my connection will hold out. I mean, it looks like
Right.
it's back, but my megabits per second's been fluctuating pretty badly. So,
Yeah.
but
So.
but basically, what I was gonna say is, the whole deconstruction of pop culture is just distraction to more or less keep the people that are literally fixated on that distracted from what's really going on socially around them. So, and one of the main things right now that's going on is we're getting into this situation of where we're going into this state of apartheid. So, I mean, hopefully we can kind of avoid it. I don't know if we can. But in terms of popular culture, the thing is this, and I said it before. You're gonna see a lot of characters more or less replaced. You're not going to see original characters of color, replaced, because if I create a white Luke Cage, that's gonna, bring people up in uproar. Or if I do a white Misty Knight, that's gonna be, something people are gonna up in an uproar. But when we look at what's going on with these heroes, it's all systematic. It all goes in steps. And again, with these companies becoming so massive, let's say, Disney does go bankrupt. Well, is it too big to be to the point where we have to bail them out, or can we just let the whole thing just come apart? And these companies are banking on the fact that they're going to be so big that we can't let them fail. So I mean, you see them
I
gobbling
just
up
want them to collapse, to be
all these
honest.
I'm with you,
which would be
Eloise.
great, which would be fantastic. The only problem with that is, let's say something like Disney does collapse. Okay, the talking point is going to be, well, what about all those jobs? That's going to be the number one talking point.
Ah, and
Technically, they are not an essential company. There is nothing that they do that could be deemed essential. So they own ABC. So, yeah, more or less, but we wouldn't call it Tombstone. We would just call it Luke Cage and
mm,
just whitewash,
Yeah, I agree, Dominic, right
whitewash Luke
there.
Cage. So, but
What did
yeah,
Dominic say, Commander?
He says, to those who say these heroes, black or white, have failed in their goals, I call BS and you're being willfully ignorant. I
Yep,
agree.
agree.
Now, Neil starts, no, it's not that they're trying to keep erase it to have us repeat it. They're trying to erase it so they can put their faces on it.
well, not even that. It's they can more or less it's revisionism. We're seeing it a lot. We're seeing a lot of cultural revisionism, and we're also seeing cultural relativism, which coincides with that too. You're going to see a lot of that. So, in terms of, and I was going to say in private chat, once you remove religion from the home, what do you replace it when you secularize the home? You replace it with pop culture. Well, where
Hmm.
do you get your morals from? Sadly, pop culture. Pop culture can be whatever the controlling power wants it to be. And that's kind of what we're seeing right now. So, what we're seeing right now is we're engineering an entire generation of people to identify with their sex, gender, with their color, and to identify uh, the uh, what they consider to be abhorrent, which is, of course, what we see as normal, uh, to more or less be, what's the best way to put it? To be more or less a counterpoint. So when we talk about, good narratives, good storytelling, the difference between good and evil, that to them is abhorrent now. And that's what it's going to be for at least one generation. We're not going to be able to tell stories where Superman, triumphs over evil, because that in of itself is some form of oppression or repression. And
In one Superman comic book, for example, RJ had did his once his
so,
6 second review. That there's a sequence where Superman laments that never made a difference in his superhero career, and he's working with apparently activists and whatnot. And I'm like, wow, Bendis, you struck a whole new low, man.
Mm-hmm.
hmm yep. So,
Well, what I say to that is, to me, what I always say, it sounds like the left is becoming the very thing they claim to fight.
well, what you're seeing is kind of what is already well, so in terms of government in the UK, they don't really have a conservative party. It's literally left and more left. Like, Tories aren't necessarily conservatives in the way we look at American conservatism. True American conservatism is not being practiced in the United States. I'll leave it at that. But what you're going to see is, as more of the quote unquote opposition party is pushed out of mainstream, what will take over that will be what we're going to see in terms of what they have in the UK in the form of parliamentary government. You're going to see more of that here, where in order for us to quote unquote become a socialist country, literally it's going to be, you're going to have, your middle is literally going to be what that space that will become conservative, if you will. What is considered conservative right now will be already pushed out as mainstream.
Anybody want to talk about
So
the
basically, you'll
porn
just see a
star
whole
that called
country
out the
ran by
conservatives?
leftists.
Anytime, anywhere.
Who
The
will what?
porn star. I have to read more about that.
I have to look into that more.
Oh, you know what? I don't even want to go into. I don't even want to go into TPUSA and their whole Brandy Love thing. That's old news. I've said it before. Conservatives don't conserve anything other than old liberal ideas. So,
I'm
um,
gonna say is that the even though I'm libertarian, I I consider the current Libertarian Party a joke. I'm sorry, it's a joke. I don't really take them seriously, and they keep backstabbing the Mises Caucus, who are legitimately libertarian. The current Libertarian Party is like just Democrats with a coat of paint, a paint job, basically.
Hmm.
Well, yeah, and that's what you're going to see more or less become mainstream conservatism as what they deem conservatism now is pushed out as fringe. I mean, if you look at the existing administration right now, I mean, quote unquote, they're looking to suppress misinformation.
Yoni, do you have anything to
And
hang on,
that's
Trooper?
just
Trooper,
more socialist
you're lagging again.
code for
Oh well.
controlling the voting ideas.
Yeah, we may.
Uh, uh,
You
well,
want closing thoughts, Arthur?
uh, not exactly closing thoughts, but I've been writing down notes for a. I don't know what will become book project maybe, but I figured I'd try to fire up those creative cylinders.
You know what? This should be a good jumping off point to announce what's going to be doing. Yeah, what's going to be happening in the future? We just lost Trooper. He got a black bag. I'm sorry, Trooper. It's been nice
Yeah.
knowing you. I kid. I kid. He's fine.
Yeah, we know he's losing his yeah, that's why I said we can I guess maybe we can just sign on out now. Not now, but go
So
ahead and finish your point, Commander. I'm sorry.
yeah, I was going to read off what we're going to be doing for the next few weeks, which is Tuesday. This Tuesday we'll be doing the one stream that I'm pretty sure people are going to enjoy, which is stop feeling ashamed of being you. Whether you're a conservative, whether you're a libertarian or a classical liberal or whatever, just be you. Just stop apologizing for being normal in the standards of objective normality. What's or at least what comes normal for you, even subjectively, because we have degenerates that are unapologetically evil. Hey, Al, welcome back. And all of a sudden, now the freaking counter goes up when we're about ready to leave. I bet you next. I bet you next they're gonna start talking and talking and talking after being silent for a while, like y'all always do. I love y'all though. Much love. Hey, child.
Maybe you should start later. I don't know, maybe 10 o'clock at night. Oh, child. Hi.
I see how it is. I see how it is. Y'all start talking. Y'all start mealy mouthing. Y'all start piling in when we're ready to wrap it up. I see how it is, y'all. But fan man, oh, morning time. Y'all all over there. Afternoon? No way, Jose. I can't do afternoon. Apparently, I'm messing with you, Al.
I know.
You know we love you. I'm being yeah, what's that word? Hilariously passive aggressive. Even Professor Geek in the evening time, y'all rushing all over to him.
What's Professor Geek doing tonight?
He ain't doing nothing tonight. I'm just saying,
Oh,
like
okay.
even if I see y'all over there. I be seeing y'all over there. I be popping in there every once. Like, oh, but y'all, but coming to Wolf's afternoon stream, that's too much for you. I kid. No, I got one more. Tell me, how do we live in a world where Professor Geek gets way more press than the werewolf himself? No humanity. No, I'm kidding.
And it's too
Back
bad
to our-
because we have a party here.
Yep.
I have to remind people we're having a real. You guys got to come. We are no holds bar here. That's the best way I can describe.
Trooper has a message for us, and he says, "Just tell everyone on stream to get off the mainstream pop culture plantation and create new ideas, like we've been always doing. Like I'm trying to do with bouncers, and Owen doing his old Bill Blaze.
Don't forget about Ishi's scars and the Arkham Case file Arkham
Case File
books.
Arkham, World War Kaiju, Scars, Utopiates. Yes, I'm jealous. That is true. That is so true. Ooh, child, things are going to get easier. Ooh, child, things will get brighter.
Oh,
Someday we'll put together and we'll get it all done. Someday. Come on, sing with me, Art Fisher. Come on, Johnny. You, someday.
he doesn't know the song. Well, he's trying.
Ooh, child, things are gonna get easier. You want to learn our culture? You gotta sing with us. Ooh, child, things will be brighter right now. Sing with me. Right now. Right now. We'll practice it next time.
Yeah, it's been a while since I've heard the full lyrics. Also,
Bob,
I, I'm almost like at the point where I should go. Well, I should have gone to sleep hours
yeah,
ago. I
yeah.
just couldn't fall asleep properly.
Right.
Uh,
Same.
So
yeah, it's a
I'll speak this along. So again, stop feeling ashamed of being you. That's July 27th. Um July 29th we'll be doing what will we talking about school, our days in school. Are you ready for that, Leia?
Our days in school. What do you mean by that?
Our experiences from either elementary, middle school, even talking about
Mhm.
bullying, like our back in the days when we used to get bullied.
Schoolyard fights were epic. Even though
Oh yes.
I was just a viewer, but like I remember like these two girls who fought in the bathroom to the point that the
Save it
kitchen
for save
sink
it for,
ripped.
save it for Thursday.
Yeah.
I think I'll have some interesting stories. I think I'll be ready for that.
Oh, you guys. I don't know how I'm gonna tell my stories because my stories. I'm telling my point of view. It's interesting. Let's just say that.
My journey will be because I'm going to take you guys back to back in the day when breakdancing was in the middle of the streets.
Hmm.
I'm going to take you back to those days
Okay.
when we break dance. When you
Continuing.
dance.
August 3rd, we'll be doing. We do not relate to villains, as in we're gonna be talking about why we should not and do not relate to villains. Which this me is really trying to push us into liking villains to the point where we're so obsessed that we make excuses for why they do terrible things to other people. Thanos comes to mind, but I'm gonna tell you why I appreciate Thanos in regards to being the villain. Which the villain is supposed you can admire a villain. Let's just say that you can admire a villain, but you still have to recognize them as the villain. Period. No substitutes or exceptions.
Hmm.
August
there's a
10th.
uh, 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 there's a difference between understanding a villain's motivations and
Hmm.
accepting them and uh, following them.
I would love to have you on there, but I know you have a tight schedule, so
Oh,
I know you
actually,
don't. I know you
I
don't.
have. One of the reasons I'm awake at this hour, I'm on my vacation. So if I'm awake at those hours, and if I have the energy, I'll try to be there.
If you want to be there briefly, then just be there briefly. If you want to just, I would love to hear your 2 cents about that. Definitely. Um, August 10th, and you're definitely gonna love this one. We're finally gonna talk about this sexualization versus idealization. Definitely gonna be talking about that.
Timely
So,
topic.
hmm I've been building this one up to not necessarily like on stream, off stream, but I've been building this up in my mind. Like, when are we gonna talk about this? And finally, something triggered me to do it. I'll tell you what it is. But 17th, August 17th, we're finally going to. I'm setting this up. I haven't picked out a candidate yet. I might select myself as a candidate. Maybe we'll see who will be the candidate, but I haven't updated in any shape or form. But elevator pitch is happening on August 17th. Now, on the Stop Feeling Ashamed of Being You stream, I will be sharing at my risk. At my risk, I will be sharing my email for those who want to email me to be put on the spot for talking about either ideas or share completed work, so we can talk about your story and give you some feedback that you've been looking for. If you're hoping to you funny Al,
Oh.
you funny. Anyways, what I'm saying is if you guys have an idea or a story that you want to talk about and you need feedback, look us up on a set on send me your email. No, not send me. Email me on that day when we do the stop being ashamed of being you stream, and tell me your idea or share me your completed work, and I'll talk with the you and Spacey together. We'll talk about it, and we'll. Oh, by the way, rule: you have to have a mic. That's the rule. You gotta have a mic. You can't be talking on the sidelines. We can't be
Well,
we can't be talking about your stuff and you on sidelines in the comments. You know how long it takes for us to reach comments that fast and receive the comment. You gotta be here with us, right, Eloise? Okay.
yes.
I was say I'll take that as a right. Okay, so yeah, that's going to be happening. Elevator pitch finally. I've been putting it off, but I finally think hopefully I got this all figured out, and hopefully we can set something up to do something. Or since you're following me on MeWe, Twitter, or even Minds, you can contact me on those platforms on that social media to contact me, and I'll put you in for a slot or put in 3 slots, and maybe we'll rotate that day, an hour for one person, or sorry, an hour per person, and we'll talk about their story. That's what, and in fact, I think that'll be a good thing to do a pitch on. Give us an hour to talk about your story, and give us enough time to really look at it, give you some feedback and all that stuff. So yeah. So that being said, thank you everybody for being here, and we're not gonna sign out. We're about to I'm on everybody's time, so I'm gonna just end the stream right now. So you guys have a good night. Everybody say
Good
good night.
night. Good night.
Good night, everybody.
Good night, and for me, good morning.
Oh,
Yep.
Good morning, Johnny.
Buenos dias.
And y'all get your ass to sleep. Y'all need to sleep
Bonjour.
anyways.
Bonjour. I'm I'm gonna make
Bonjour?
some lemonade. I don't know. Well, Eloise said something, and so I was trying to speak my own way of saying good morning to Joni. I don't know.
Yoni.
I was just following her lead.
Yoni, you like to share culture? Come on, man. Give us a way of saying goodbye to you,
In Finnish.
please.
Hyvää huomenta ja näkemisiin. Good morning and until we meet again.
Perfect.
Okay, we're gonna have to learn that.
Yeah.
All right, you guys have a good night. Take care, everybody.
Good night.
Goodbye.
Good night.
Bye.
I ain't doing no damn how.